Here we go. We're drinking champagne and smoking cocaine till early morning. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I really don't care. I don't want to concentrate on this. I got a radio show to do. As I mentioned, this law firm from Los Angeles is suing the Department of Human Services for systematic neglect and failure, leaving to death up to the death of Genesis Mata. They also brought up other cases. They brought up the boys out in California City. Their given names Classic and Sincere Pettis. They brought up the case that involves Andre Perez Jr., who was beaten to death, a 3-year-old, under their care. And the Mata case stands out because, again, Ray Mata was investigated, and they absolutely failed this young girl, despite being told some 20, at least 20 times by mandated reporters, by school officials who noted that Genesis was missing a lot of school and that she was showing up with bruises. What more do you need? If you have a DHS in your county and teachers are reporting that children are showing up with bruises and you don't do a thorough investigation, the Genesis Mata murder should have never, ever happened. Riddle's got to go. He's got to go. I mean, he's ensconced. We had Jeff Flores in here, and I've talked to several other not several others, but 2 other supervisors, and they're in love with this guy. And I just don't get it. Isn't there any sense of accountability for your job that when you do it poorly, we've got to remove you? Or you can do it poorly, you can cost the county money in both this lawsuit and having to reach out to the San Diego group and for some consulting, because obviously he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. They allege CPS failed to remove the children. They failed to follow up on responses. They failed to track Mata's whereabouts after he absconded, and failed to protect Genesis from the very danger that had been reported. They're reporting a documented pattern of systematic failure. This wasn't one case. This wasn't 2 cases. This is embedded failure within DHS. And this is going to cost the county some money. If you think this LA firm is going to lose this civil suit, I'm taking all bettors. I'm taking all bettors. And perhaps, if we're hit in the pocket, the supervisors will get together and sack this guy. He's incompetent. He's incompetent. He may be the nicest guy in the world. Nice people can be incompetent. But this can't happen. And we have to have supervisors who will stand tall and protect our children. Because again, what is their job? Is it not your job? And I just sat with Jeff Flores. I love these guys. I love David Couch. I love Philip Peters. Letitia Perez. Well, Letitia Perez. But the fact of the matter is, we have a problem. We have a very serious problem. You know, we talk a really good game as a society. I'm not talking about Kern County. As a society, we talk a really good game about 3 groups of people that we should be worshiping, and we try to pretend that we do. But do we really take care of our veterans? Do we really have respect and adoration and love for our seniors and take care of them as the way they should be taken care of? And our children. Do we really, truly defend them? Because I think if we did, Murillo would be out of a job right now. I think Murillo would have been out of a job when the Mata case popped up, because it was an obvious situation of something. And I told you that I didn't know whether it was understaffed or burnout or whatever, but there was a situation. And the thing that, as many of you know, has me as livid, and really what got me on to following this thing as closely as I have, is when I had Murillo and his assistant on this program, and I just casually asked them, give yourself a letter grade. What kind of job you guys think you're doing? And you know, they gave themselves an A. They gave themselves an A, and then within 2 or 3 months, they were asking for a consultant to help them out. Like, why do you need a consultant? Why do you need to audit? Why do you need to examine things if everything's going so well? Because everything's not going so well. And from what I've heard from sources, that the morale over there is as low as it could possibly be. You think? These people are busting their hump. I'm not blaming the social workers themselves. I'm really not. Even this law firm points out that these people are understaffed, overworked, burned out, et cetera, et cetera. That falls on leadership. And if you want more money, ask for more money to staff more CPS workers. But we brought this in, and now we just gave another $200,000, and I cannot wait. It's going to be fascinating to hear what this San Diego State company has to say in about 2 weeks, even though we've already given them the money. That's how it works. You give people the money, then they tell you what happened. And as I talked about yesterday, what happens if they come back and they say, you know what, we couldn't find anything. But thanks for the check. Thanks for the $500,000. Because remember, the total bill on this thing, they just gave another $200,000. The total bill on this thing to bring these people up to tell us how to guard our children is $411,000 and change. And then they're going to tell us what to do. Thanks for the money. We don't know what you should do. What if that's the recommendation? We think there's poor management and there's lackadaisicalness and complacency, and that's about all we found. But no, they're going to be on the hook for another year. This contract extends to June of 27. $200,000 to $411,000. To do what? To tell us what a law firm can tell us? Tell us what's going to come out in trial in a court? That's going to be fascinating. And that's why, if you're a board of supervisor and you're listening, you're on watch. Because if you skate this through and you guys don't go after Murillo and it comes out in a lawsuit in court, in trial, that Murillo is the problem, then the problem goes higher than even Murillo. And we have to start to examine our board of supervisors and for whom we vote, is what I'm talking about. Because we cannot provide votes for people that are lending a blind eye to this kind of abuse, this kind of systematic abuse. It'd be different if it were a case or two, or maybe even three, but they are describing this just as we or I expected: systematic failure, systematic negligence. They were told more than 20 times that there was an issue with Genesis Mata. So what happens if it's just 4 or 5 times? Think about the cases. If they ignored 20 warnings with Genesis Mata, think about all the cases that are falling through the cracks. This is stunning. And now that a law firm from Los Angeles is involved, it's all going to come out in the end. We'll all get to see what's going on. They have to describe the systematic failure to win this lawsuit. They have to show the negligence. They have to provide the understaffing, which even a grand jury in 25 indicated that they were not all the way up. They just weren't. And again, a grand jury pointed that out. We're switching gears. We're off to the city of brotherly love, a guy that I consider almost a brother. It's the open week. We're going to talk with Nick Ragone next. Don't go anywhere.
News. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Authorities in Texas have rescued hundreds of stranded drivers and people trapped in homes, and at least 2 people have died due to catastrophic flooding. The region is still recovering from devastating floods a year ago. The governor said Thursday that the hardest hit areas are expecting more rain and are not out of danger yet. Heavy smoke from wildfires is darkening skies from the U.S. Midwest to the East Coast. The smoke on Thursday prompted warnings that breathing the air outside could be dangerous for people. The smoke is coming from fires that are burning primarily in Canada, but also in northern Minnesota. A National Weather Service meteorologist in Detroit says a lingering high-pressure system has trapped the smoke close to the ground. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 105 points, the S&P lower by 38. More details at srnnews.com.
Progressive presents the Museum of You. Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
A A woman named Wendy Kyle was stabbed to death back on May 29th, 2001, after she left the Mint Bar in Oildale and her body was set on fire inside her house. And police do not know who did it, even after all these years. But the Kern County Sheriff's Office is pushing again for tips, hoping to rectify that situation and bring the killer in. They have not discussed any possible motive. A robotic dog on the police force. That'll soon be part of the Bakersfield Police complement, with money meant to be used to fight fentanyl, used partly for the purchase, since the dog is equipped with sensors that can detect fentanyl, and that is one of its uses. The mechanical mutt will be used for helping in hostage situations and in situations where it might be dangerous to send people in. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Hey, it's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. You know, the world's biggest tournament is in full swing. In the summer, Sangera Subaru is bringing all the excitement home. So they're kicking it off right now in July with some incredible offers on new Subarus. Right now, lease a 2026 Outback Cream CVT for $229 a month for 36 months and $5,017 due with sign-up. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. So don't miss your chance to drive something brand new during soccer's biggest event of the summer, going on right now at Sangera Subaru. Stop by, see my good friends Damon and Hassan, and test drive a brand new Subaru. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
2026 Subaru Outback Premium CVT with TSRP $37,287, $229 per month plus tax for 36 months. Total lease payments $8,869, $5,017 total due at lease signing. Includes first month payment, excludes tax, title, license, and $85 document fee. Total lease costs $13,886, excluding tax and fees. No security deposit. Lease based on 7,500 miles per year, 57 miles over. Available to qualified customers through Subaru Motor Finance. On approved credit. Expired July 31st, 2026. Excludes optional command, install accessories. VIN number TY514370.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Central Valley, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Nick Ragone.
Nice. I haven't heard that.
Nick Ragone.
Rob to Philly to talk with. One more time. Nick Ragone. How are you, sir?
Hey, I love that. Like, am I like so popular that you have a
What did you think? We made that up? Yes, of course.
No, that's great. Does that mean I've arrived? Like, do all your super special guests get that, or just
Yes, all the super guests get. No, we really don't have a
Just
joke.
Nick.
Just you, actually. I just thought
I
about
feel
that.
honored. I feel like I've been almost 15 years.
Yeah. Oh, at
started
least. I've been here 13 years, and you were
yeah.
at the other station for at least
Right.
5 of those.
Oh, right. Holy, I forgot about that.
Because I met you through Preston. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Preston Nash, of course.
Yes,
you're producer.
exactly. And he was my producer at the other station, so it's at least been 15, 16, might even be 20
it was
years.
my very first book that came out.
Presidential
I don't
Leadership.
remember what you did. Yeah.
Presidential
No, it was before that. I had one before that.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. No, it was another one.
No, it was the presidential leadership one. I'm pretty sure.
No, it was not. It was before that, Ralph. I know
You
my
sure?
book. I had one on president. It was not that one. It was a different one, and that was in 2008 because it was during the Obama-McCain election.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a funny morning because I've told this story 100 times. We get to Barnes and Noble a little bit early, and there's a line coming out of Barnes and Noble, and Nick goes, "What's this all about?" I go, I have no idea. I don't know what. Maybe they got another event going on. I don't know because it was like 40, it was like 45 minutes before he was supposed to start signing books, and come to find out they were all listeners waiting for Ragone. And we signed every book and sold every last one. We sell like 500 books that day.
Yeah, that was one of the most fun. And I just remember eating at Luigi's was so much fun, and then being shocked at the size of people. I do have to come out there like, well, I got to write another book. I mean, I have one, the fiction book. But I got to write another book and then come out and do a proper 2 or 3 day visit.
Absolutely.
Bring my wife up there, do a signing, have dinner. Like I'm a very minor celebrity in Bakersfield.
You really are, dude. You should come out in March and play in our golf tournament.
Yeah.
And come out. We play on a Monday in March. Come out on a Sunday. We'll take you to dinner Sunday night. Play the golf tournament. Take you to dinner Monday night. Play BCC Sunday and Monday. Be a ball.
Is that your fault? Is that it's not Folds of Honor. What's the that's the honor guard?
Honor flight. Honor flight.
Yeah, honor flight.
Honor flight. Yeah, the group that takes veterans back to DC to see their memorials, and they've got a new one. They've got a Desert Storm.
Really?
Thing that they're building. Yeah, so we're raising money for that.
It's not just. I thought it was just World War II. So it's World War II.
It's anybody. It's all veterans. All veterans.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It initially began as World War II. Back about 15 years ago, but now most of those guys aren't with us anymore.
The Korean War vets are dying off too.
Yes, they are. Even that's what I freaked out about on some of the recent trips. Even the Vietnam veterans now are in their 80s.
They're in their 80s. Yeah. I mean, if you were 18 in 73, I mean, you're 80 something.
Yeah.
I mean, and those guys took it hard, and with the Agent Orange and napalm and
the way they were treated,
the way they were treated when they came back. They've had so many health issues.
Yeah, it's
scary.
Those are obviously the World War II guys are unbelievable. The last trip I went on, I went with a man that just passed away, Billy Burke. He was 100 years old. He was a World War II veteran. He was phenomenal. And we were at Fort McHenry in Baltimore, and there was a group of children watching the movie. And afterwards, I got to wheel Billy up, and I asked the children, they're about 10, 11 years old. So how old do you think this young man is here? And they're 70, 75, 80. And when he said, I said, Billy, tell him how old you are. And when he said 100, I mean, collectively, their eyes were big as plates.
Yeah.
You know, they had never met anybody 100 years old.
I mean, it's they're lucky they got to meet a World War II vet.
Absolutely.
Nobody their age. I mean, it's so weird. I've talked about this before, but like when we were growing up, certainly when I was in the late 70s, 80s, like World War II vets were everywhere. And it was like in the prime of because they were like 65, 70, and they were, you not only knew a ton of World War II vets, but like it still shaped kind of the post-war experience. And, my kids will never grow up knowing that, like knowing actual World War II. There's so many stories about World War II from guys that fought, and you just, younger people, if you're under 30, there's a good chance you'll never know of World War II vet.
I have always said, I've been on 7 different honor flights, and I have always said one of the favorite parts of the trip for me is breakfast. It's breakfast, because I get like 45 minutes to sit down with these guys. And me, I'm asking get them to tell stories, and that's where the one guy told me a story about Iwo Jima and how he said, a lot of people think when that flag went up, that was the end of it, that the island was secure, and that's just not true. We had 2 or 3 days of dealing with this, and they took out a couple of our guys, and he told me the story of him getting shot on the ladder of a helicopter. I mean, the stories that these guys tell are just mesmerizing. They really are.
Yeah, it is. People don't realize, though, the photo that we all know was staged the next day. The original photo was a smaller flag, and it was the day before, and they it wasn't really visible, and so they redid it. It wasn't staged per se, but it was kind of staged.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, and it was an AP photographer, I think his name was Rosenthal, who took the picture, and he was kind of on the way down, and one of the guys was on the way up, and one of the guys said to him, like, hey, you might want to stick around for this. We're going to put, and the guy's like, oh, okay. And he took the shot and thought nothing of it. And, and maybe one of the top 5 famous pictures in America.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you ever been to it in DC?
The Iwo Jima Memorial? Of course.
Yeah. Have you ever done the circle in the car or anything? Where it literally looks like the flag, because when they tell me this on my first trip, I was like, look, I'm a grown ass man. You don't tell me like, these little funny stories, but it's true. When you circle, it looks like the flag is going up. I swear.
Yeah, I haven't done that actually. It must be an optical illusion.
Exactly. Well, obviously, but it actually does look like that, and it's just bizarre. But what are you going to do?
More Marines died on Okinawa than all the other battles combined, which is
Really?
pretty amazing.
That is amazing. And didn't 3 of the 4 men that raised the flag die as well?
They died.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of them died. Yeah.
That's-
And there was also controversy about who was. I mean, it took a long time to figure out the exact, it was like 7 guys. And I think 3 of them died on Okinawa. Like, because, you know, Iwo Jima, I think, was in March, I want to say, of 45. Then Okinawa was probably May of 45.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 of the bloodiest battles back to back.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Meantime, a man that I've never heard of, Jackson Suber, is on top of the leaderboard in the Open. You know anything about this kid?
No, zero. I know he plays on the PGA Tour. I think he's American, right?
Yes. Yes, he is.
I mean, I don't expect to see him on the leaderboard on Sunday. You know, he reminds me of kind of one of the, when you go to the races and in the first quarter, some race you never heard of, some horse you never heard of got out to a quick start and just setting the pace. But what's interesting to me about the leaderboard is, other than Cam Young and DeChambeau, there's no huge names up there.
Nobody.
I think Cam Young and DeChambeau are in. I was shocked that Bryson played so well. He struggled this year, but that course is burnt out, and you could kind of bomb it down there. But I'm getting a good vibe from him. He seems to be in a good headspace, and Rory putted horribly. I mean, he limped home to, I think, 2 or 3 over.
2 over, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that. All his misses, and the reason I want to talk about this is for selfish reasons, because all of my putting misses are right. Is he, and BCC is like this, where speed is everything. Even on a 3-foot putt, believe it or not, speed is everything. Because if you hit it like a girl, it's going to spin away at the at the mouth of the hole. And if you hit it too firmly, you're going to hit it right through the break, and you're going to miss it right. Is he just hitting it too firmly, or is he opening his hands and opening the face of the club, in your opinion?
No, I think he tends to. So first of all, those greens are very slow, and those guys have to adjust to that. The open rota greens usually stimp at 10, whereas a PGA Tour event stimps at 12. And so it throws them off. And I think what happens with Rory, he uses one of those mallets, and he has a very kind of handsy stroke. It reminds me of Watson in his heyday. And I think he struggles with adjusting for speed because he's much better on really fast greens where he doesn't have to use as much a stroke. And I think he's struggling with these forward greens because he needs to make a bigger stroke. And I think, he has a kind of awkward, very handsy, very arms and handsy stroke, sort of like Watson. And I think he really struggles with different speeds. I mean, he was blocking everything, but they weren't getting to the hole, or he was drilling it 4 feet past.
Yeah.
A couple of times he tried to ram it in, and he had power lip outs. And I think he's struggling with, okay, I have to make a bigger, longer stroke, but keep it in rhythm and not pound it.
Yeah. I listened to his interview afterwards. He feels good. He's 7 shots off. He's come back before, 7 shots off, and he thinks that playing in the morning will help him tomorrow. He feels really good about himself. And it was a weird round for himself because he had trouble on the easy holes, and he birdied some of the toughest holes on the course.
Yeah, he did. It's true. He bogeyed the 2 far 5 to the back 9 after hitting good drives.
Yeah.
I mean, which is weird. Look, I think if anybody could come back, Rory can. 7 shots isn't insurmountable, although at Birkdale, I think nobody's come back from more than 6 or 7. But he is right in that tomorrow morning is going to be much easier. I think the wind is going to be non-existent in the morning. I think the course is going to play softer, a little bit softer in the morning with no wind. And so he has to, he needs to throw a 65 in there, which he absolutely can do.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't count him out by a stretch, but I just, I thought he hit the ball really well.
I did too.
He just putted horrible. I mean, he missed on the front 9. He had 2 or 3 4-footers for birdie that he missed. And then he made a mess of the 2 par 5s. I mean, if he just makes a couple of 4-footers on the front 9 and birdies the par 5s, which he can do in his sleep, it's a 66. So, but I like where DeChambeau is. I just, for whatever reason, when I saw him on the course, it seems to be fitted for him a little bit, and he just seems to have a different energy. I think Cam Young's always really solid. Morikawa had it going for a while, and then I think he bogeyed 18, but Morikawa has won it before, and I think he's somebody that kind of likes being in the limelight, and he likes majors. He's one of those guys that doesn't like to make bogeys, and so I think he'll be there. I was shocked. My guy, Fitzpatrick, he did not play well at all.
Not at all.
I was expecting. His brother played well. His brother was 1 under. Brooks Koepka had it going for a while and made a couple of dumb mistakes. And look, that guy, Alex Smalley, who played well at the PGA, nearly won that. he was 5 under. He doubles 18. He knocked one out of bounds, but like he's got a beautiful swing, great tempo. He could be like an Aaron Rye that just he's ready to win. So I wouldn't count him out. But you know, if I'm on the first page of that leaderboard and I'm a big name like Cam Young or DeChambeau, I thought Xander would play better. He didn't. He kind of limped home. You got to be feeling pretty good. There's not a ton of big names crowding out the top of the board.
And the one name that we have not mentioned is Scotty Scheffler, who was 2 under and just 3 shots off the lead. And you gotta like his chances.
You know, I don't. I'll tell you why. So look, a fine round. He missed a couple of short putts. He for whatever reason, and look, I could be proven wrong on this. He just does not look comfortable, you know, on the greens. He missed a couple of really short birdies. I think he also bogeyed one of the par 5s from like the middle of the fairway. Now look, come Monday morning, you could be calling me up saying, you know, you're an idiot. Scotty wins by 5, and that would be totally normal. But I don't know. It just something doesn't seem right about him on the greens, and I think these guys really struggle with how, you know, slow the greens are because they're so used to playing, you know, greens that are 13, 14 on the Stimp meter, particularly, you know, the U.S. Open a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it comes to these really slow greens. I mean, you could tell that the guys that like enjoy pounding the ball on the greens, like Bryson, where they just ram it in the back, did better. And so, look, Scotty could definitely make noise, but I don't know that I'm calling him the favorite at this point.
Yeah. Talking with Nick Ragone, as we do during all the major championships in the world of golf. John Rahm was 1 under. He's still hanging around.
Rahm's hanging around. Rahm always hangs around. You know, I'm always high on Rahm, and then he always closes weekly. I think he did that at the, you know, the PGA and the Open, U.S. Open. But look, you know, those conditions, the other thing to keep in mind is, like, the guys, everybody's getting really wacky bounces, good and bad, which I love seeing. And I think it plays with them mentally. You know, you could get some great bounces, you could get some awful bounces. And to me, it's always the guys that know how to, you know, that's the one thing Scotty has in his advantage. I think he keeps his cool a little bit more than Rahm does, or DeChambeau, or even Rory, who, you know, when he gets a few bad breaks, he slumps his shoulders and kind of looks like he's deflated.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about the Open Championship is that, especially these bunkers, they're so penal. If you get a quirky bounce and you land in a bunker and you're up against a sideboard, you know, we've seen a lot of strange stances and shots. And
Rory hit one of the best shots. You see the sand save he made?
He missed the putt.
Where he had one knee on the ground and he just scooped it out of there. I was like, wow, yeah. And then he pushed it again, pushed it right.
And he didn't even like threaten the hole in the putt.
No.
It was that par 5. I think it was 17. And
yeah.
I thought Jordan Spieth, you know, he won there in 2017. I thought he'd have a little bit of more vibe and mojo, and he played poorly. You know, it's interesting that, like, you know, I thought there'd be more big names at the top of the board. I also thought the course would play easier. I was wrong on that. Yesterday I said I thought, you know, 14, 16, 18 under to win it, and it still could, but they did not go super low. It's a bunched up leaderboard, which I like. If you take out the guy that's at 5 under, there's a really bunched up leaderboard from 4 to 1, which is good. It means that like the PGA Championship, a lot of guys are in it.
And some great names, Hatton, Fleetwood, who I heard this morning lives like an hour from the golf course. As we just mentioned, Rahm, who's got to be kicking himself. His only bogeys were on 14 and 15. He bogeyed a par 5 and a par 3 back to back. Right. That hurts.
That hurts. Those par 5s, it's always amazing to me that those guys make a 6 on a par 5.
Yeah.
Where, you know, they're looking at, you know, trying to make 3 or 4.
Yep.
You know, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think if I remember, Tommy Fleetwood grew up on Birkdale. Like he used to sneak on there and play. So
like I
imagine he would be a really, really popular winner if he somehow managed to win this one. And Terrell Hatton's fun to watch. I mean,
he is.
Like, first of all, Terrell Hatton always seems like he's competitive in majors. Like, he's always on the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you see, you know, it's like seeing the 4 seasons in one day. It's like you see every emotion a human can have with Terrell Hatton.
So how far out do you have to be to stay in this tournament? Like,
I mean,
even?
I think it's one of those ones that anybody that is at +1, even or +1, even tomorrow, makes the cut. I think the cut will be relatively high. It'll be like maybe +1, +2, but like it feels like one of those ones where if you make the cut, you could still go 65 and win it.
Yeah.
I think realistically, the guys like Rory, the guys that are over par need to have a 65, 66 tomorrow to to get in the hunt. My guess is the lead will be up near 9 or 10 tomorrow. I do think it's going to be a little bit easier. And I think the winning score will probably still be 12 to 14. I don't think it'll be high as 18, which I thought earlier in the week. But, I think if it'll be one of those ones where on the weekend, there's not going to be any rain really. And there's not really going to be a ton of wind. So there's probably a 63 or 64 out there.
Yeah, I bet. I hope. I'll leave you with this, running out of time. Did you watch the ESPYs last night?
I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah. Horrible.
Oh, terrible. It's terrible.
Terrible.
They're a shell of what it used to be. I mean, when they opened up with the Savannah Bananas, I was like, okay, I'm out.
I mean, and De La Soul and a lot of rappers. I don't know why they try to black it up as they do. It's poorly produced. The only good thing about it, I told the audience this at the top of the show, were the packages they did. And one of the packages, I don't know if you saw it, was on Jim Abbott. And that was incredible.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. Jim Abbott, people don't remember how remarkable throwing a no-hitter with one hand.
At Yankee Stadium.
At Yankee Stadium. Being a really good pitcher for a long time.
Yeah, he was.
Played like 18 seasons.
Yeah.
Was a multiple All-Star. And by the way, let me throw you out the stat of the day.
Yes.
Okay, this is mind-bending. In 1985, John Tudor had more complete game shutouts than Max Scherzer has had in his entire career.
That's crazy.
In 85, he had something like 11 complete game shutouts. John Tudor, after starting 0-6 with the Red Sox, when he got traded to Cardinals.
Yeah.
And that's more than Scherzer, who's a Hall of Famer, like 3-time Cy Young winner, has had in his career.
Yeah. That's why they're saying there may probably never be another 300-game winner in baseball.
No, there's zero chance of that. Zero chance.
How close is Verlander? Isn't he somewhat close?
Verlander's at
he's out of time.
I think. I just looked it up the other day. He's at like 264, and this is last year. He's not getting. I mean, look, Verlander's first ballot Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely,
great pitcher. But like the era of, look, Greg Maddux did it by pitching 5-6 innings and getting wins, and I think he was the last 300-game winner that I can remember. Maybe Randy Johnson was, but we're not going to see any. We're not going to see any more. I mean, growing up, it was common with great pitchers. Dwight Gooden, 85, had probably, 20 complete games and 7-8 shutouts. The entire league won't have that this year. I mean,
and 20-game winners. 20-game winners was common.
I mean, Oral Hershiser in 88, I think, through like 300 innings.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, every game was a complete. I mean, I think Gibson in 68, Gibson actually averaged a complete game, meaning like he started 34 games, and if you times 34 by 9, it's a certain number. He actually had that exact same number of innings pitched because he had a few games where he came out in the 7th, but he also had a bunch of games where he pitched 12 innings.
Right.
So like Gibson in 68 had the equivalent of every single game going 9 innings, which
is
insane. It's insane.
It is. And we had another perfect game stopped because the manager pulled the pitcher.
Which is, that's just
I just don't understand. Yeah, I just don't understand it. I really don't. I just don't understand sports.
That hurts my brain. Like, Earl Weaver or Sparky Anderson or any of those guys, Billy Martin would have pulled somebody after 7 innings.
No way in the world. Or those guys wouldn't have come out.
Yeah, I mean, they would.
Those guys would have like, go back to the dugout.
Yeah, I mean, cut my arm off.
Yeah.
Like, they would never come out of a game. I mean, there's great stories, even as late as like, I think of Maddox a couple of times. Bobby Cox went out there, or not even Bobby Cox, the pitching coach.
Leo
Mazzoni. He's like, go back in. Go back in. Don't even come out. Like, you don't see that anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, we'll probably end up bugging you again tomorrow. Wrap this thing up. Appreciate you taking the time coming on the program.
Hey, look, thanks for having my own intro, even though the guy sounds a little creepy, but it's still going.
You got to thank Mr. Flores for that, for putting that together for you. All right, man. All right, have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Nick Ragone.
Quick timeout. Not a lot of time before we get to the top of the hour. Mike Turnipseed joins us next. Mr. Petrie at the bottom of the hour. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1, AM 1230. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the first program, we will talk about my unblemished record in picking World Cup matches despite not knowing or caring anything about human foosball. We got a really bad squatter situation. Bakersfield's talking about becoming a sanctuary city. We'll talk about all of it to the best of our ability. 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1, AM 1230, KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
The lovely ladies at KC Steakhouse are eager to get back to work. And where would you rather be? If you're trying to beat the heat and have one of the best steaks you'll have in Kern County, one of the single most iconic restaurants in Bakersfield, KC Steakhouse. And as I try to stress to you guys, of course, the ribeye is one of the favorites. I'm kind of a filet guy in New York on occasion, but not everybody, particularly when you go in large groups for birthdays and anniversaries. I just ran into the Paula family celebrating their son Tim's birthday, and it's not everybody is into red meat. That's why Chef Daniel has advanced the menu. I've told you about the chicken breast that I get, the Ralph Bailey. It's covered in a mushroom and spinach creamy sauce, the different fish dishes, the halibut, the swordfish, the mahi-mahi, and even the blackened cod, which is something new that they put on the menu as well. And the lobster mac and cheese, the fettuccine alfredo with chicken. Are you kidding me? It is a vast menu. Chef Daniel does an incredible job. Don't forget about live music Tuesday through Saturday. And don't forget about the Stockyard next door. It's KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsor of the Ralph Bailey Show.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-498-6548. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-498-6548. That's 800-498-6548. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 AERN.
Want to thank Nick for joining us. We'll talk with him again tomorrow. In the meantime, we got lots to talk about. My favorite story of the day is the teleprompter worker for the president who was making bets. Quick time out. Mike Turnipseed is next.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield.
I'm
an
drinking
American General Media
champagne.
Station.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
Feeling no
Federal government is
pain.
bringing back a policy
Till
that
early
is raising
morning.
concerns for legal immigrants and their U.S.
I'm
foreign relatives.
drinking
The Trump administration is moving
champagne.
to deny green
Smoking
cards to immigrants who use
cocaine.
public benefits like food
Till
stamps,
early
housing vouchers, or
morning.
Medicaid. The policy revives a rule that applicants have to show they wouldn't be, quote, public charges, i.e. a burden to taxpayers. It was implemented during President Trump's first term, but reversed under President Biden. A post by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services says that under President Trump, the agency is restoring the basic principle that immigrants must be able to support themselves. Immigrant advocates and public health groups have criticized the rule, saying it will have a chilling effect on the health and safety of legal immigrants and the children of mixed status families. Jennifer King, Washington.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt returned to her duties today after being off for maternity leave. Leavitt says the U.S. is continuing airstrikes as a result of Iran's belligerence.
And the reason for the recent strikes over the course of the last several days is because Iran violated the Memorandum of Understanding that we struck with them. Specifically, in the Memorandum of Understanding that they signed, they were not to fire on commercial vessels moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And unfortunately, they have made the tragic decision for them to do that. And President Trump is not going to sit by and allow these active acts of terrorism to take place in the Strait without ensuring Iran pays consequences for that. And that's what we are witnessing right now.
Mediators from countries that include Pakistan, Qatar, and Egypt have been working to resume peace talks. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 105 points, the Nasdaq dropping by 387, the S&P 500 lower by 38, oil near $79 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
The latest on mortgage rates.
Mortgage buyer. From the KERN Newsroom, you're live
What's
and
up,
local
Mr.
news update.
Finding Wendy Kyle's killer 25 years later. Wendy Kyle left the Mint Bar back on May 29th, 2001, and later her body was found burning in a house. She had been stabbed to death in Oildale. And the Kern County Sheriff's Office is pushing once again for information on her killer. And that could lead to an arrest or at least some type of resolution in the case. What investigators have not discussed publicly, at least this time around, is any possible motive for the killing. If you attend the Kern County Fair this year, you will be one of an estimated 400,000 people expected at that fair. And the security is being provided this year by the Bakersfield Police Department. Once again, it is expected that the cost for that is going to be around $433,000. Some of that money will be reimbursed by fair organizers directly to Bakersfield, the city. Bakersfield cops would like to solve this mystery, why somebody would crash a car into a canal, then take off running and never come back to claim the car. That crash happened Tuesday night on Madison Street, and the surveillance video that you might have heard about has now been made public that shows the crash and a person running away from the scene. Later that night, Kern County Search and Rescue hoisted the car out of there, and it's now being investigated as a hit and run. Gas shot up overnight several cents and is now at $5.40 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. That's the average in California. The national average is now $3.93 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. The Bakersfield Police Force will have a new member very soon, and that is a mechanical one, a robotic dog that is made to sniff out drugs. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
To the rest, well, in a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's going to give you what you want. Too late. They start shooting in a week. I'm going to make them an offer again.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
No, not really. Hang on a second. We got to get Mr. Turnipseed in the shot. Slide over, Mr. Turnipseed. Let's get you into there. There he is. There's the very famous executive director of Current Tax, Mr. Michael Turnipseed. As we head into the 4 o'clock hour, where's my headset? Lots to do, Mr. Petrie, at the bottom of the hour. I've got, we'll preview the president's speech on the 2020 election, although I think his staff has talked him into talk about other things as well. He's said to be talked to about Iran and the SAVE Act, and this is really what this is all about. I'll explain later. But in the meantime, as you can see, up and down the boulevard. There. Wow, what? Huh? What? Michael Turnipseed.
Go Giants.
Yeah, and I know this was a Giant song. I would have forbade it.
Oh,
no, we're not playing Giant theme songs on this radio station.
I've been playing it for the last 3 months, Rob.
I had no idea it was
Since
connected.
April when the baseball.
I had no idea it was connected to the god awful Stinky Smellies.
You know, I'll tell you, when they were, was it 10, 12, 14, won everything, going to a game at Candlestick Park, everybody waited just to do that 7th inning. That was the 7th inning stretch song.
Because you're weird. You're San Franciscans. You're weird.
No, we're not weird, Ralph.
Weird people. So I guess I lost my bet. The college coach is still the manager. He won't last the season, though. I'll re-bet you. He won't last the season. He should have been fired by now. Good googly moogly. But I think he should have been fired when he didn't confront Devers for waving off the pinch runner. You don't do that. You don't show up a manager like that. Should have whacked him right then, because he has no control over the ball club. He should have met him he should have met him at the front step and not done a Billy Martin, but he should have met him at the front step and said quietly, so he doesn't show him up on TV, and just said, that can't happen. And we need to talk in my office after the ball game, and just walk back.
Yep.
You know, instead, he didn't do a damn thing. Now Devers is running that ball club. Prima donna.
Well, everybody has prima donnas.
Yes, they do. They're mostly wide receivers. We were talking about that yesterday. Mr. Turnipseed.
Wide receivers.
Oh, they're the biggest prima donnas in sports. Name a bigger prima donna than a wide receiver. And I was talking about this with somebody yesterday, and I was saying that Brady was on the Kelsey's podcast.
Yeah.
And he gave the best explanation to why they're the biggest divas. He said the running back's going to touch the ball. The tight end's going to be involved because he has to block and he's going to catch some passes. But these guys are 25 yards off the ball. They run these long routes, and there are days where they see the ball 3 times in 3.5 hours. And they come back the next day, and they're like, dude, I was open all day. And they think they're open. And you know, he said that's why New England won. Because I would start at the beginning of the season, I would go into the wide receiver room and tell the guys, look, Edelman, so-and-so, there are going to be days where you're going to get 11 balls, and there are going to be days where you get 3 balls. But you're going to have to deal with that. And they didn't really have any. He said even Randy Moss bought into that.
Well, he was the GOAT.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He was a bad man.
He's got a ring on every finger.
The Raiders almost ruined his career. They almost ruined Randy Moss's career. Let's get to work because I'm excited about what you've got. Mr. Turnipseed has questions that he'd like to pose to city council wannabes.
Well, let's first see who's filed in the first 3 days.
Do you want me to do this?
Yeah, you can do that. You can read.
Well, that's I can't read for a long time now. For Ward 3, Regina Velasquez, Cassie Biddle. Did I mention the Cassie Biddle? Cassie Biddle.
That's why I wanted you to do the announcement.
Catherine.
I can't be that emotional.
Catherine, about Cassie Biddle? Is that right? You can't be that better about Cassie Biddle, huh? Catherine Holling. Is that how you pronounce it?
Holling.
And Juan Carlos Lamas.
Yes.
Yes. Do we know the party partisanship on any of these people? I know that Miss Biddle is a Republican. I believe Miss Holling is a Republican.
But they advertise on your station, I think.
Who does?
Holling, the painter.
No, that's Holloway. Steve Holloway?
No, Holling's painting.
Yeah, we have a Holling's. Oh, we do? Okay.
And the race is nonpartisan, Ralph, so we don't ask for.
Oh, true that. True that. I forgot about that. It is. I'm still curious though. You can still know what their party is, though, right?
Yeah.
We can't play it up. I'm assuming that Velasquez and Lamas are Democrats. No.
I would think. I don't know. I think the first one is I think she's an SIU candidate.
And you think Juan Carlos Lamas is some kind of fighter? Is that what you were telling me?
Yeah. That's what I heard. I don't know the guy at all. Don't know the name. Somebody says he's a fighter.
Oh, he's a MMA fighter. Crazy Lakes, I believe, is his.
Oh, really? How do you know all this? Do you know this guy?
I don't know him. No, I've never encountered him. But yeah,
interesting.
So now he can't come on
Flores
the radio.
has all kind of connections within the local political world.
Yes, he does.
I have none. I don't want to talk to these
Yeah, I know. We're getting old.
Yeah, I don't want to know these people. I don't want to talk to these people. I don't want to go to dinner with these people. I've had my share. I do it 3 hours a day. I don't need to talk about it anymore.
All one ward, too.
All one ward.
Well,
a lot of people running in one ward.
That's right.
And the filing deadline is?
August 7th.
August 7th, so we could see even more participants.
You could see more.
That's why I disagree.
But that's crazy. I mean,
well, that's why I always thought Cassie should have got in way early to scare off folks. I don't think all three of those people would have run had they known Cassie Biddle was going to be on the ticket. That's just
I don't know, but I would assume Mr. Lamas, I think, was the first one who was really talked through his name in.
Yeah.
And Miss Holling, she's in very conservative Republican, very conservative. She's from the weird camp of people, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That makes sense because I know somebody who works here who's endorsing her apparently. And yeah, that would fit.
And Cassie's Cassie.
Damn right.
And Regina, I think, might just be lone Dem.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's makes it an interesting narrative.
Yeah, it does.
Because what I heard is registration's like 55-45. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
And so she has no competition for the Democratic vote. If she can raise the money, that's going to give her a big advantage.
Yeah. Before we get to your questions, you have any thoughts on DHS getting sued by this LA firm in the name of Genesis Mata? I've been banging this cage for a long time. Lito Murillo's got to go, Michael. He's got to go. They're talking about systematic failure, systematic negligence. We're going to have to write a check to this because they're going to win. They're going to win. Yes. And I've been screaming this. I knew, I don't think, and I'm not going to take a victory lap because I don't think you had to be a super genius to figure out that there was more. If they were warned by teachers and mandated reporters about Genesis Mata, and they essentially did nothing and allowed that girl to die, then there had to be other cases. They were told 20 times. What about the times they were only told 3 or 4 times? So there had to be more cases, and they cited other cases. They cited Andre Perez Jr., who's 3 years old, who was beaten to death. They talked about the 2 California City kids whose real names are classic.
They never found those bodies.
They never found those bodies. No, they have not. And Judge Remmer just sentenced them to, because there was some discrepancy in the 2 charges they were facing. So I guess they dismissed one and they maintained the murder charges. So those 2 murderers will stay in prison for at least 30 years, which is a good thing. But I'm having a problem with the DA's office, though, and these recent plea deals. And I think we're about to see another one. The fact that what are your thoughts about, I haven't talked to you about the human trafficker getting a couple of years, have I?
No.
Your thoughts?
If you human trafficking, couple of years, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, Michael. How can that be? How can she sleep? He put this child in slavery.
She cuts the deal. She wins the plea. If he plea bargains, gives it away. She got her quote, got him in jail.
That's what I said. It's about the scoreboard.
It's all about the scoreboard.
And the kid that
and
was
I win 90% of my cases.
Yeah.
Well, you settle 90% of your cases.
And I had a nightmare the other night. I literally dreamt about this because I've been predicting she's not going to get elected dog catcher. And I dreamt about this. I dreamt about this because I was beating the cage that her opponent's going to come out of that office. And then it dawned on me, what if everybody's afraid to challenge her and she goes unopposed?
Could be.
It really could be. Because she's running. there's no question she's going to run, in my opinion. Because I don't.
Well, she doesn't run till 28.
I thought it was. Oh, is it 28?
Yes, the sheriff and the DA, they changed the laws to put the sheriff and the DAs on the presidential year instead of the governor's year.
Okay.
And they did that in a hope of getting more Democratic people voting and getting more Democrats elected sheriff and DAs.
Does that help her or hurt her?
Well, it gives them people time to forget what happened.
Forget about it. Yeah. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. All right, let's get to your questions. I want to hear these. I'm excited about this.
Well, I made a questionnaire that Current Tax is going to send to all of the candidates. 10 questions about issues the city faces, and real questions and real issues on, okay, and if you can't answer the question, you shouldn't be running.
Yeah.
Because
by the way,
you need to have basic knowledge. You can't go up there and go, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared, because the city has some deep issues, you just can't show up every other Wednesday night and push a button. You need to do the homework and understand how to fix the problem.
Yeah. By the way, did you see Christian Clegg on 17 this morning?
No, I did not.
Talking about additional resources and blah, 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 blah.
No, he brought it up in March, and his council just looked at him, and this year's budget really has nothing to do with additional resources, nothing really on the economic development side to do anything.
No, we've talked about that.
I know they did sign a contract with a company who's going to, a national company, pretty well known, to help them identify companies who should come to Bakersfield. You know, its location for us. You know, we have a great location for logistics. We're logistically located fabulously because when you draw a 4-hour circle, that's what Shafter says. We get the 4-hour circle. You get almost to Sacramento, you get almost to the Bay Area, you get most of the Southern Bay Area.
Right.
4.5, you're in Vegas. Look at all of the LA basin. You can get in San Diego in 4 hours.
Yeah.
So you can send a trucker out here on a 10-hour run. He be here, he drives down, picks up and delivers the goods, brings an empty back, and does all that.
Let's hear the questions.
All right, excuse me. Will you commit to a structurally balanced budget? And a structurally balanced budget is the revenue.
I was going to say your first question should be, can you define what a structurally balanced budget is?
Well, I'm going to tell you. That's when
they should be able to
current
answer
revenue pays for all of your current expenses. You're not taking reserves out. You're not taking carry forward. Carry forwards and things, those should be for projects. One-time money. You do not spend one-time money on ongoing expenses. The second one is on the wastewater liability. What's your plan to fix it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because none of those council members know anything about what the plan should have been. They should have come in and done a bonding program, but they didn't. Do you support the current rate strategy? If not, what's your alternative plan? How are you going to fix the sewer program?
Another good question.
The Consolidated Maintenance District, which maintains about half the city's, flowers and trees and plants, they haven't raised the fees on people's homes because those are a district of maintenance. They haven't raised those fees since 1996.
Really?
Really? Yep. The city relies on volatile sales and transaction taxes that vanish during economic downturn.
Hey, slow down. You're almost slurring.
What will you do to reduce the dependence and protect services through the next recession?
Through the next recession? You're predicting it already.
There's always to be a recession, Ralph.
What was the last recession we had?
Well,
in years.
It's cyclical. You have boom and there's bad times and it might be short, but there's always time when a downturn.
Yeah.
And sales tax revenues, could be in a recession now because Bakersfield, because our sales tax revenues are dropping.
Yeah, true.
That's the biggest indicator of what a recession is. What is your position on Measure N and how Measure N dollars are tracked and audited? Will you support independent public audits of what measures actually are funded and what they accomplished?
Solid.
No city can cut its way to solvency. What's your concrete strategy to diversify the tax base beyond oil and agriculture and retail? And what would you do in your first year to begin with? What would be your first project?
That question should have been asked right around 1980.
Probably.
You know?
Will you require independent performance audits with measurable outcomes of every organization receiving public homelessness funding from the city before you renew their contract?
Yeah, we have not examined what's going on with all the money that's going on. And
that's correct. What did you accomplish?
Nothing. That's why I've told the audience
you're
yesterday.
going to do an audit, and they're going to tell us you didn't. You hired the people. You do the audits. What reserve level should the city? What reserve level should a city this exposed to revenue swings maintain? Because we do have revenue swings.
Yeah, because we're involved with two of the most fluctuating.
Will you publish in plain language a multi-year fiscal outlook and schedule of deferred liabilities so voters can see actually where the city is paying for now and what it's pushing down the road?
That's it? Those are the 10? Those are the 10?
If they can answer those questions, that means they've spent hours of working.
Yeah.
Hours.
A debate will be fascinating with this large group.
I plan on, once I'm getting them for everybody, distributing them around, especially somebody like 17, because they do a debate. They'll do a debate.
Oh, yeah. For every
here's your
ward.
10 questions. But everybody will know what the 10 questions are. They've already answered them to me. But if they don't, can't answer them, they can't answer them.
Yeah. You should ask Tri to come down there during the debates.
We'll be in his station.
Huh?
Probably be in his station.
That's what I'm saying. You should ask. You should hit him up and come down there. Come down there live.
I'm going to send this to him. Yeah, and say, here's your questions, man. 10 questions. That takes about 30 minutes because it'll be a 30-minute debate. It'll be quick and fast.
Yeah, but he's not gonna strictly use your questions.
Oh, I know.
He's a journalist.
He's a journalist. I know.
I got this, Mike.
But
is what he's gonna tell you. I think we can.
But there have never been questions like this on any city council race before.
Probably not. Probably not. Some of them, I think some of the revenue questions have been asked before, but some of those are deep.
But people have to pay attention.
Yeah.
This is a big fork in the road. If there aren't proper decisions made, because when they passed Measure N, the city had issues. It was one thing, but they are now 10 years farther down the road. And the pension fund questions, they've got all these liabilities. They're backing up like sewer, and they don't know how to structure anything. So they put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah. And you can add to the list another former police chief who's going to be making close to 200 grand for the rest of his life, and he's younger than I am. So what is that now? Like
You're just
5?
jealous, Ralph. 5.
I'm envious. I don't know if I'm jealous, but I'm certainly envious to get a pension of 200 grand a year for the rest of my life. I'm green with envy.
Oh,
Have you lost your mind?
I think it's more than that.
I'm sure it is. And now is it my good friend Greg Williamson and Bill, and
Rector.
Bill Rector. Thank you. Bill Rector. Lyle. And Mr. Terry.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 police officers we're paying.
That we know of.
That we know of.
That we can come up and with our feeble minds,
crazy.
Name them right now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
it's a voter's responsibility. If you don't like what's going on, you find a candidate who will, and get candidates to run who will answer the questions and do the heavy lifting, because that's what needs to happen.
I will leave you with this, an unfair question, but I'll ask it nevertheless. Is Cassie Biddle the favorite in this race, in your opinion?
Cassie Biddle is probably the best known of these candidates. But anytime you have that many people running, and Ms. Halling, she's going to have her wing of the Republican Party.
The psycho
and
wing.
So, and if there's another one running, and the more people you have, the bigger show. I can't say that first adjective. It's really convoluted because it's not one-on-one.
Right.
It's not 1-on-2. You're 1-on-3 now, so everybody's splitting the vote.
And you got to win 50+1 to avoid the runoff.
There are no runoffs.
It's just
you can win. Highest vote getter wins.
Wow, that's scary. I didn't know that. I didn't remember
once you
that.
get to 26%, you win. I mean, basically, if everybody put even, that's how it works out.
That shouldn't be. We should always have a runoff, in my opinion.
Nope, that's the way it's always been. It's just you win the plurality, which is, and it'll probably be somewhere, usually it'll be like 35, 40%.
Yeah. Always good to see you, Michael. Welcome back home.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're not happy about that, given the temperature.
It's hot.
you
I'm
left.
going to go back to the beach tomorrow.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yes.
You want to take me with you?
I have to ask my wife.
Did you see that dead air right there? What'd you say? What? You? No. I'll ask my wife, Ralph. Yeah, right. Mike Turnipseed. Quick timeout, not a lot of time before we get to the bottom of the hour. Daniel Petrie joins us. I would stick around if I you. You're going back.
Current Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon, Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate all of you my absolute exemplary experience with seeing Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues
Oh, the other thing that I love
office,
is the
only to
yardage
receive the
thing.
most stellar feedback from my doctor
That thing
friends
is
regarding
killer.
the office's
It gives you the
expert
distance to the
navigation
middle
through
of
the
the
complex
green.
maze
And you
that
just
is
hit it,
Medicare.
but
And
it's
even
only
though
good for
Paul
one
Sheldon
round.
himself is now
I've tried to
facing
use
some
last
temporary
weekend.
health
I don't know.
challenges, his long-standing and most
Yeah, you got to
experienced
charge
and
every
expertly
round.
trained team of
It's good
ladies,
for one round.
Christine, Ellie, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide
but it's
clients
killer.
through the
It's
complicated
killer.
world
Where I can get out of the car,
most
because normally
definitely
when I
could
play
not
with Chris,
possibly do any
I
better
just stay in
than
the
to
car
reach
and I
out
do
to
what I
Paul
tell
Sheldon
people not
several
to
months
do.
before
Like
turning
when he hits it
65.
left, I
Thank
stay in the
you.
car because I want him to come with me and range find for me. But now, if he hits it left,
398.
I just grab like two clubs, go to
This
my
is an
ball,
important notice
hit
to
my little
all
thing
U.S.
on my visor,
taxpayers.
and I
The
know my
IRS
yardage,
is giving away
and I get hit
billions of
right after
dollars
he
in
does.
tax savings through a
But yeah,
federal
I
program
threw up
called
an
the Fresh
83.
Start Initiative to aid delinquent
Really?
taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back
Threw up an
taxes.
83 at
Qualifying
Sunnydale,
and
and
enrolling
then
in this
threw up
program
an
will stop all
89
collections,
at
settle your delinquent
thing,
tax problem,
and
and
lost to
even
Chris by
reduce what
4
you owe by
strokes.
thousands of
Do you know the
dollars.
last time
Call
I
the
came within
hotline
4
at People's
strokes of
Tax
Chris
Relief to
Zucchini?
see if you qualify and get this free
He shot
information
at
by
85.
dialing
Yeah.
800-924-7415.
that's
If
what
you
he
have
shoots in the
unfiled
low
tax
80s. That's
returns
what
or
he's
cannot afford
he's
to
a
pay your
12.
personal or
But we
business
played
back
match
taxes, you
because
can
he's playing
now
in
get
this
the
match
help you
tournament
need.
up there.
One simple phone call
And
can
so we played
resolve your
match,
tax
which I
problem and
forgot.
save
You
you
know, normally
thousands
when
of
you play match
dollars.
for
To
money,
see if you
it's front
qualify
back
and to
total.
get this
5
important
bets front
free
each.
information,
But he
call
wanted to play it like a real match, meaning
800-924-7415.
it's all the way to the end, and you can end it like at the 14th hole if you're 5 and 4. And I took him,
800-924-7415.
Mike
Hey,
was
it's
so
JR
proud.
Flores.
I
Catch
made
my
an
show,
8
The
on
JR
15.
Show, starting
I hit
at
my
1
3-wood
p.m.
off the
Now
course.
back to the
I
Ralph Bailey Show on News
drilled my
Talk
drive
96.1
and hit
and
my
AM
3-wood off
1230,
the course.
KERN.
I hit it on the 3-wood. I mean, not it didn't reach, but it got off the course.
Crazy.
And so, yeah.
Crazy for feeling so lonely.
Willie Nelson. I was just watching. Have you ever seen Honeysuckle Rose with Diane Cannon and Slim Pickens and a young, and I can't remember the actress name, but he plays a musician. It's a stretch for him. And he's married to Diane Cannon when she was really, really hot and going to Laker games and sitting in the front row. But he sleeps with Slim Pickens' daughter on the tour. And as they say in Hollywood, that's where the hijinks begins. It's a great picture. Honeysuckle Rose. It's a great film. I watched it after I saw A Star is Born the other night with Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand. Heading into the back half of the hour, it's money time. Talking retirement with my man from S-Maker and Petrie Wealth Advisors, Daniel Petrie. So we played just a true match, right? So we're going back and forth. He had me down 2 at one
Peters in
point.
Washington. Authorities
And I
in
was
Texas
down
have
1,
rescued hundreds
busted
of
my
stranded
drive. He's in
drivers
the
and people
woods.
trapped in
And I was
homes.
hitting my 3-wood.
And at least
That's
2
nothing.
people
I hit
have
my
died
3-wood
due to
really hard.
catastrophic flooding. The region is still recovering from
And I hit-
devastating floods a year ago. The governor said Thursday
I
that the
love 'em.
hardest hit areas are expecting more rain and are not
I
out
love
of
'em.
danger yet.
Love him.
Heavy
I hate
smoke
'em
from
play golf 'cause
wildfires is darkening the
doesn't have a left
skies from the
pocket.
U.S. Midwest
So I have
to
to
the East
fold my glove
Coast.
and put it in my
The
front.
smoke on Thursday prompted
But other than
warnings
that,
that
I love
breathing
it.
the
It's
air
a little
outside
hot
could be
in the
dangerous
summer
for
'cause it's
people.
cotton.
The
But
Smoke
listen to the
is coming
story.
from
So I
fires
hit
that are
it
burning
off the course
primarily
from
in
May gate. I get
Canada,
on in 5
but
and 3
also in northern Minnesota.
Okay,
A
so it's got
National
me
Weather
down 2
Service
or 3 to play.
meteorologist in Detroit
I
says a
par
lingering high-pressure
16,
system
should have birdied it.
has trapped the
Busted my
smoke close
drive.
to the
I'm
ground.
up on the hill.
More
on 16.
details at
And
SRNnews.com.
I can see the green. I hit it so far.
You got by the trap.
I'm by the
her
track.
name is
I can
Sherry.
see the green.
She's
I'm up
Current
on top
radio,
of the hill.
News Talk 96.1 and
I mean,
AM
I literally
1230,
just hit it like
KERN.
that. Had an
Headlines
8-foot
from the
birdie putt, missed it. I
KERN
hit it
newsroom.
far, so I'm down 1 and 2 to play.
The car in the canal is still a mystery, and Bakersfield PD is hoping someone might be able to tell them why the car was in there along Madison Street Tuesday night. And they would prefer that comes from the car's owner or whomever it was that was caught on surveillance video leaving the scene. More than 400,000 people are expected at the Kern County Fair this year, and it is expected that providing security for the fair will cost somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1 per person for a grand total of about $433,000. That's how much fair organizers have agreed to reimburse Bakersfield Police for providing security for the fair this year. Gas in the state now $5.40 on average, says Gas Buddy. The national average $3.93. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour, and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey, it's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. You know, the world's biggest tournament is in full swing. In the summer, Sangera Subaru is bringing all the excitement home. So they're kicking it off right now in July with some incredible offers on new Subarus. Right now, lease the 2026 Outback Green CVT for $229 a month for 36 months and $5,017 due at signing. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. So don't miss your chance to drive something brand new during soccer's biggest event of the summer, going on right now at Sangera Subaru. Stop by, see my good friends Damon and Hassan, and test drive a brand new Subaru. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Automall.
2026 Subaru Outback Premium CVT with TSRP $37,287, $229 per month plus tax for 36 months. Total of lease payments $8,869, $5,017 total due at lease signing. Includes first month payment, excludes tax, title, license, and $85 document fee. Total of lease costs $13,886, excluding tax fees. No free deposit. Based on 7,500 miles per year, 57 mile over. Available to qualified customers through Subaru Motor Finance.
Because I'd already taken it out. I didn't know I was. I thought I was close to it.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
Like I got screwed on the par 5 11.
Morning 6
to 9
a.m.
And they put
On
in
the
that
Friday edition of the
too.
First Look program, we will talk about my unblemished record in picking World Cup matches, despite not knowing or caring anything about human football. We got a really bad squatter situation. Bakersfield's talking about becoming a sanctuary city. We'll talk about all of it to the best of our ability. 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1, AM 1230.
I hit a shot over a bunker.
Talk
It was a short little bunker.
AM 1230.
Flag was far back.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program.
You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
And that thing is wet. I do have to give you $60. Yeah, I'm saying I gotta give you $60. There's been no $60. I want $36 playing with this guy. Blow it. It's a Thursday, and we are off the 21st and to bring in our money man. Have a wonderful trip to the coast, Mr. Turnip Seed. Thank you, sir. Daniel Petrie. How are you, Mr. Petrie?
I'm doing well. How's Turnip Seed doing over there?
Mr. Petrie, like to know how are you doing? He just said, I'm fine. He's going to the beach, so he's a happy man.
Oh, he's going to the beach.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. And he won't take me with him.
I just want to take my wife with it.
Oh yeah, he's got to check with the wife, so I could be going.
Yeah, well, good luck, Ralph.
Exactly. No chance whatsoever. None whatsoever.
No chance.
Ralph. Why would we take Ralph? I can hear her already. Yeah. I'll be your personal valet. I'll put out the towels and the chairs and get lunch. Do anything to get out of this heat, man.
Actually, somebody might take you up on that.
No kidding. I'll be a personal valet. I don't mind.
Wouldn't be a bad gig.
No, I'll do anything to get out of this heat. I can't handle it. I just can't handle it.
It is hot.
Yeah. I'm leaving my thermostat on 80 when I leave the house because I just can't. If I don't leave it on 80, it's 85 degrees when I walk into my house at 6:30. Yeah. 85 degrees. And what do you put your thermostat on when you're in the house?
Oh, well, for some reason the upstairs is on Celsius.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I keep that at 25 degrees Celsius. What is
okay,
that?
Now what would that be in Fahrenheit?
77.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
I think downstairs I keep 77, 78 right in there.
Yeah. I start off at 79 when I first get home. I take it from 81 to 79. And then, like I've told my listeners, and I don't know why I'm boring them with this, but it gets warmer in my house the later it gets.
It's funny you mention that. I wake up and I'm like, why is it so warm in here?
Yeah. The peak of heat in my house is around midnight, 1 o'clock, because I'll leave it on 79, and then I'll wake up at like midnight, 1 o'clock, and my forehead is perspiring. And then I get up and put it down to 77. That gets me through the night.
That's the word. And I need, even if it's just a light blanket, I need something over me.
Yeah, me too.
Or I don't sleep good.
Me too. And I need a blanket because I've got mosquitoes hovering around my apartment. I have so many I have at least 10 mosquito bites all over my body. It's crazy.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. If it's a little warm, I'll nudge it down until I feel cool and then try to put it back up and deal with it. But
it's crazy. I can remember when I was young, I had to have it at like 72 degrees. It's crazy.
Ralph, remember, I'm the youngest of 9, so there was 11 of us, and I grew up without air conditioning.
Ooh. Yeah, I lived in an apartment that had a swamp cooler. That was.
Yeah.
And that does nothing after about 92, 93 degrees.
We had a swamp cooler, and when I was very young, it only blew into one room of the house.
Wow. And I used to try everything. I used to try to put ice in my swamp cooler. Didn't do a damn thing. And then I moved into an apartment that just had just that window air conditioner in the living room.
Yeah.
So the bedroom was on fire. And it faced the west. And now I see it. I drive by there almost every day, and the new tenant has tin foil in his window.
Of course he does.
That I
used to think that was pretty bad, but I totally understand now.
I guess, yeah, because that room. That's how I discovered Casey Steakhouse, because I couldn't be in that apartment at like 6, 7 in the evening. It was so ridiculously hot.
Casey's.
Yeah, absolutely. So the president is expected to give a speech tonight on the 2020 election, and the Iranian war has essentially even escalated, let alone restarted. How is the economy taking all this in?
Well, it's holding up okay. But is he going to talk about the war, or is it all about the election?
No, they've added now. Okay. I think, and I'm not the first to say this, I heard some pundits on television say this, that the staff, because this is the worst thing he could do. This is about as dumb a thing as you could do. While people can't raise $1,000 in 24 hours, and we're in a war with Iran, he's focusing on an election 6 years ago that was adjudicated in 43 different courts. And what he's going to say, Daniel, is there was foreign influence. And you know what I'm going to say when I'm sitting in front of my television watching it on DVR because it starts at 6 o'clock? Duh! Like the idea that China and Russia has been trying to influence our elections.
Yeah, we knew that already.
That ain't news. That ain't news. And that's what he's going to present. He's going to say, this is how they tried to influence. Of course they did. Through Facebook, probably through Instagram, probably through TikTok. Of course they did. But did they change votes? And another thing's going to be interesting is how Fox covers this thing. Because remember, One of the main reasons Fox had to pay Dominion $800 million is because they discovered those text messages where the Fox management and Fox reporters knew damn well that the 2020 election was on the up and up, and they were communicating that to one another, and that's one of the reasons they lost it, because that was not an easy case to win, and yet they walked away with $800 million. So it's going to be a fascinating night because he's screaming there is new evidence.
Yeah, it's so hard to. I mean, are there shenanigans? Yes.
Of course.
Does it influence the election? I mean,
because
we're 95% no.
We're talking about massive fraud, and we're talking about to overturn his election. We're talking about 3 different states: Georgia, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And Brad Raffensperger stood his ground as Secretary of State of Georgia. Brian Kemp, a very popular governor in Georgia, has said there was no problem. The former governor, Jeff Duncan, a Republican, said there was no problem. And most importantly, Chris Krebs, who is the director of Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, said there was no problem. Mitch McConnell said there was no problem. William Barr said there was no problem. It is just, and the other point that they were making is, if this is true, the only cheating happened on Donald Trump's watch. Because he won in 16 while Obama was in charge. He won in 24 when Uncle Fluffy was in charge. And he's claiming that the only time that there was shenanigans going on, he was in charge.
It's so hard to, because I hear all that and it makes sense. And then I think, okay, well, should we have processes in place to make sure the elections, and I'm like, sure, why not? But that doesn't mean that there necessarily is fraud going on. It just invokes confidence.
The Georgia votes were literally hand counted 3 times with supervision of Democrat and Republican strategists. They counted them by hand 3 times.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see this new evidence that he's going to put forward tonight. But yeah, to answer your question though, I think his staff came to him and said, this can't be a purely 2020 deal. You just can't do that. Not with all that's going on. You've got to talk about Iran. You've got to talk about there's other stuff that's going on.
I thought when he announced it that that's what it was all about.
Exactly.
The whole Iran thing.
That's what I thought before they announced it. I came on the radio and said that. Finally he's going to address the nation about Iran.
Right, and get this sorted out and explain it and what we're going to do and why and how and the whole 9 yards.
No. Do you think he truly thinks he won in 2020? Or is he just, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to think that it's hard. Either he just flies off at the cuff and doesn't care, like just throw it out there and see what sticks, or he really believes it.
I can't figure out which.
I know. And then I have issues with both, because I'm thinking, well, okay, if he really believes it, what reinforces that in his own head? And I'm not arguing with him. I'm just curious. And then if he just throws it out there, then, it just seems odd.
And it dissuades voters. It hurts us. Why would you play craps in a rigged game?
Right. Why vote? If I'm going to be outdone by a computer 10-1, my vote doesn't matter.
It's just crazy. Let's take a look at the deficit, although we know what's going on, or maybe we don't. Maybe we don't.
You mentioned the economy earlier, and jobless claims today came in better than expected.
That's good news.
Oil, which is kind of relevant to what's going on in Iran and the economy, of course, with inflation. Oil is sitting under $80.
That's amazing.
And the S&P 500, as of the close today, it was down about 0.5% today, but it is up just a hair over 10% for the year.
That's amazing.
Yes, I know.
It really is.
That seems, and I know Trump touts the stock market, but we need to. I sure hope our messaging is much better for the midterms.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting couple of months, boy.
Oh. I'm almost sick of it already.
I am too.
Not that I get sick of it, but it's like I already know what's going to be said. I'm tired of the yelling.
Yeah.
I
ran into former state senator Andy Vidak the other night. Great guy. We're going to have him on the show at the end of the month when he's back in town. And we have a small wager. He thinks we're going to win the House and the Senate.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just don't think so. I think we can. I think based on these recent ICE shootings that just happen to happen.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, that just happen to happen in the two Senate states that we need desperately, Maine and Texas. I think we lose both of those. I really do.
Unless they nominate, well, we already know in some of those, but our only hope is they go wacko left, which they seem to want to do, where the energy is in their party, but maybe it won't matter.
And I think this shooting only hurts the Republican Party because now, you've lost the Latino vote. I don't know how significant that's going to be in Maine, but it's certainly going to be a game changer down in Texas way. And I think James Tellerico, Andy Vidak thinks I'm clinically insane. You think that vegan's going to win in Texas? Yeah, I do. You've lost your mind. He told me. And I do. Maybe I'm crazy.
I'm in between you two. I mean, I'm like, it is Texas, but also the nation is not on our side right now.
No, not at all. And like I said, these shootings did not help. They really didn't. Let's take a look at gold and silver.
Yeah, sure. And you mentioned the deficit, and yes, it was another a little over 29 billion we went up. We're approaching 39. Next week we'll be at 39. 485 by the end of the week when we do it next time.
So we'll break 40 by the end of the year then.
Yes, I think so. It'll be a race, but I think we'll get there.
Unfortunately,
It is sad.
That is sad. That is sad.
And you would think silver and gold be off to the races, but gold is under 4,000 again. It has dipped under there while we're trying to figure out where our correction low is. We're at 39.76 last I looked.
That hurts.
And silver made it all the way to 55.68.
Wow, that really hurts.
Yeah, that one moves. But nothing's changed except they're going down in price. But I really, really think they're trying to. We don't stay under 4,000 for long with gold. At least we haven't. And even if we go down a little more, it's to me, it's from a point that we will rally strongly when we do start rallying into the end of the year. But
from your lips to God's ears.
Yeah, there you go. It's not fun when we're going through it, but
no, it isn't.
As I've often said, I mentioned this last week. The gold and silver bull markets do not like many riders along the bull. For whatever reason, it likes to kick them off.
Well, what does that mean?
It means, when you think of a bull market, you think of an actual bull and a rider.
Right.
And the people who are bullish are riding the bull. But a gold market likes to kick them off, meaning I'm gonna go down for a while and get you guys so disgusted that you're no longer a bull on silver and gold.
And that's when it bounces back?
Yes, that's when it starts to take off again.
Okay. So let's hang with it, I guess.
So we're close. Sentiment-wise, I think we're close. It doesn't mean it starts tomorrow. I mean, maybe we'll rally and go back down here and rally and go back down here and for another few weeks. But I'd much rather be a buyer here than a seller.
Okay, very good. Very good. Always good to talk to you, sir. Stay cool. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will wrap to you next Thursday.
You guys do the same. Be well.
Thank you, sir. Always good to talk to you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, he did me a solid. I forgot to thank him. We are headed into the 5. We'll take a short time out. We'll take a look at the board, see what you guys are talking about. I'll go look in the chat room, see what's popping in there. Now that you can hear me. Isn't that a song? Now that you can hear me. Taking a quick time out and coming right back. And you're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1, AM 1230. And we stream live at kernradio.com.
Luigi's?
Yeah.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
One could possibly pull off this whole weekend at Bernie's thing that they're doing. Well, there are people now on the internet that are saying, well, that picture was obviously AI generated and maybe he's been dead since June or whatever the thing is. Because they did say he was admitted to the hospital after a fall, but they've already got the 911 call and he said it was a cardiac arrest situation. I don't know.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen, 116 years old, the single most iconic restaurant in Bakersfield. I told you how it started. It was either Gino's grandfather or great-grandfather. I think it was great-grandfather. It was simply trying to feed the Italians in the neighborhood. And then the now deli turned into a little grocery store and then turned into the deli. And then Gino returned from college and became part of the family business. And then Lynette returned as a teacher from Redondo Beach and has absolutely transformed the deli. That's why I tell you guys to start in the deli. Start in there. Look at some of the merchandise for your grandchildren or your children. They've got some great merch. And you've got to see Lynette, as I talk about all the time. She's one of the best sommeliers. Her specialty, Italian wine. So ask her about that. And again, if you're a foodie, the deli is the place for you. And then, of course, the outside, the patio is jumping. Gino's got the misters out there. So even on a warm summer day, it is comfortable and cool. And I've talked about the warehouse next door. It's been an absolute game changer. I'm sure just about all of you have been to some kind of event with the Chateaubriand and the Sacco beans and the separate bar in the warehouse. It's just been an absolute game changer. Where would you rather be when the heat is on than at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen, long-time sponsor of the Ralph Bailey Show.
The Bear Mountain Sports Summer Savings Sale is on now. Boy, is that a mouthful. Come check out the deals at our new location at 624 Morning Drive at the corner of Pioneer and Morning Drive. Whether you're looking for plinking, hunting, home, or personal defense, the Bear has it all. Bear Mountain Sports has all your favorite brands: Benelli, Beretta, SIG, HK, Kimber, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Remington, and much more. The Bear is also your Byrna Less Than Lethal headquarters. Shop all Byrna products, including limited edition colors. Bear Mountain Sports is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 8 to 5, and Sunday, 9 to 2. Have a quick question? Give us a call at 366-AMMO. 366-AMMO. Still locally owned and operated, and dedicated to serving the Kern County community. Come visit Bear Mountain Sports in our new location at 624 Morning Drive at the corner of Pioneer and Morning Drive. Bear Mountain Sports, where the tradition continues.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist. I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
All my exes live in Kern County. Texas is a place love to be. But all my exes live in Kern County. That's why they're acting Tehachapi. 842-5376, 842-KERN. This is one of my favorite stories. You know, gambling is out of control. Everybody's now in bed with it. The networks, they're promoting it. ESPN, everybody's promoting it. And there are called, and I didn't know about this, mention market. Is that what it's called? Mention market bets. So the man who operates the teleprompter, who therefore knows before any human being. Remember I told you the story how I used to, when I was at CNN, I was an intern, and my job on some days was to tear the teletype and put it on national and international and state news. And it's one of the things that got me hooked on journalism, because when I was done, I would sit back and think, not intellectually, but knowledge-wise, I was one of the smartest guys in Los Angeles. I knew everything that was going on nationally in the state of California and internationally. Well, as the teleprompter guy who has to feed the president's speech into the teleprompter, he is the most knowledgeable man on the planet about what the president is about to say. I mean, imagine right now he'd be feeding the teleprompter for the speech at 6 o'clock. So he knows exactly what the president's going to say in about an hour and 5 minutes. Well, now that you can make bets on these little things, your phone, as he's feeding the prompter, and it says, we're going to bomb Iran. He went, allegedly, there's a probe going on, and made roughly about $90,000 making these mention market bets, like what we're going to do here and there. And do you know how they found out about him? You know how they found out about him, don't you, Mr. Flores?
I don't.
He won. That's the first indication. When you start winning, haven't you ever seen it on these reels where they will literally kick guys off a blackjack table because they just keep winning? And they won't tell them, they said, that's done, you're done. And they're either accusing them of counting cards, which is impossible to do with a shoe, or they just kick them off. Because if you're winning, they know something ain't right. That's the tell. You're winning all the time. In gambling, those lights stay on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 or 364 days a year. Or is it 66? I can't remember. Leap year. Anyway, and so when you're winning all the time, bells and whistles go off. And this guy was winning like a champ, 90 grand, and they started to investigate. It was a group called Please Stand By. Oh, it's not called Please Stand By. Just relax. It's called, I know I wrote it down. Kalshi, Kalshi. Kalshi.
Yep.
Yeah, Kalshi. And he made about 90 grand, and that's what set bells and whistles off. Now the White House is looking into it, and you know, this is insider trading, basically. It's basically what it is. It's insider trading. So this guy could go to prison. This could go away for a very, very long time. And apparently, the president was quite upset. How do we know that? Because thank you, Jesus, Carolyn Levitt has returned. She had her baby with her 64-year-old husband. Please stand by. Hey, Siri, how old is Carolyn Levitt?
Caroline Levitt is 74 years old.
Hey, Siri, how old is Carolyn Levitt, the White House press secretary?
Okay, I found this on the web.
Why can't you just tell me she's 32 and her husband's my age? Lucky bastard. But they just had their second baby, and she returned to the White House for her first day of duty today. And that's great news. I love this woman. Quick time out. Headed to the final hour of the broadcast. It's TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241C9, Bakersfield. An American General Media
Texas is
station.
a place I really love to be.
2 people are now reported to have
But
died in catastrophic
my
Texas flooding.
exes-
Sister Dale, Texas resident Keith Heath
I
says
heard
he's
that.
been watching
Thank
the
you.
water
So
rise.
It's actually came up since I've been here for the last 20, 30 minutes. It's came up another 5 feet or so.
Oh, you got Clayton?
And it's still rising, by the way. So, yeah, it's an experience that I've never seen the water this high over here on this road.
Governor Greg Abbott said Thursday that the hardest hit areas are expecting more rain and are not out of danger yet. The National Weather Service says a deadly flood wave churned down the Guadalupe River that runs alongside Camp Mystic. That's where 24 children and 2 counselors were killed last July. Meanwhile, smoke from wildfires in Canada is heading south and hitting parts of the Northeast as a cool down is in store after some really hot summer weather. Correspondent Laura Winters reports.
In addition to record degree heat, parts of the Northeast have been dealing with smoke coming down from Canada. The New York City skyline covered in haze across the river in New Jersey. Many towns closing local pools because of the toxic air. Baseball games canceled along with golf play, also a scratch. AccuWeather says the new weather pattern will bring with it cooler, less humid air, but that the smoke from the wildfires in south central Canada will remain an issue until it rains. The air quality index is poor, so people are urged to close their windows and stay inside. Laura Winters reporting.
The Food and Drug Administration has approved a first-of-its-kind pill that can drastically reduce cholesterol. The drug cleared Thursday can lower dangerous cholesterol in a way that's previously only been available with expensive injectable drugs. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 105 points, the S&P 500 lower by 38. More at townhall.com.
How many times are you going to walk into that outdated bathroom and think, I really need a bathroom makeover? Stop putting it off and transform your bathroom and your life in as little as one day with a beautiful, affordable shower makeover from Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Choose from custom designs tailored to your budget and style, including safety-focused features for beauty and peace of mind.
I've had a great experience from start to finish. The crew that came in, they were so professional. This looks like a marble, beautiful, new shower, and it was done all in one day.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free design consultation and quote. Call 800-384-3371. That's 800-384-3371. 800-384-3371. With purchase and installation, financing through third-party lenders, subject to credit approval. No interest and no payments if paid in full within 12 months. Charge from purchase date if not paid in full. Not all will qualify. Call dealer for details.
AI drags the markets lower.
Drops for computer.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
Finding Wendy Kyle's killer 25 years later. Wendy Kyle left the Mint Bar back on May 29th, 2001, and later her body was found burning in a house. She had been stabbed to death in Oildale, and the Kern County Sheriff's Office is pushing once again for information on her killer. And that could lead to an arrest or at least some type of resolution in the case. What investigators have not discussed publicly, at least this time around, is any possible motive for the killing. If you attend the Kern County Fair this year, you will be one of an estimated 400,000 people expected at that fair. And the security is being provided this year by the Bakersfield Police Department. Once again, it is expected that the cost for that is going to be around $433,000. Some of that money will be reimbursed by fair organizers directly to Bakersfield, the city. Bakersfield cops would like to solve this mystery, why somebody would crash a car into a canal, then take off running and never come back to claim the car. That crash happened Tuesday night on Madison Street, and the surveillance video that you might have heard about has now been made public that shows the crash and a person running away from the scene. Later that night, Kern County Search and Rescue hoisted the car out of there, and it's now being investigated as a hit and run. Gas shot up overnight several cents and is now at $5.40 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. That's the average in California. The national average is now $3.93 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. The Bakersfield Police Force will have a new member very soon, and that is a mechanical one, a robotic dog that is made to sniff out drugs. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Welcome to the rest world. In a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want. Too late. They start shooting in a week. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Thursday, 16th day of July. This is the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. We're streaming live at kernradio.com. Coming up in about an hour, almost probably to the minute, the president's going to unveil what he calls new evidence that will prove his 6-year claim that the 2020 election was stolen and that he actually won. He needs 3 states to swing the other way to prove his point: Georgia, Wisconsin, and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I don't know how he is going to make a dent in Georgia, as you heard me talk about with Daniel Petrie. The Georgia, not only are all these challenges been to 43 different judges and been thrown out, A, but B, the Georgia count was hand counted 3 separate times. So where he goes with evidence there, I have no idea. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, you know, I don't understand the logic. Because again, as we said at the top of the show, if the Democrats had a mechanism where they kept him out of the White House in 20, why would they not use it in 24? And why would they allow, if they have this mechanism, not only for him to win, but for Republicans to win the House and the Senate? That's the absolute nightmare. That's what Democrats wake up in cold sweats dreaming about. That, oh my God, Trump won the presidency and the House and the Senate. He's uncontrolled. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, folks. It's just not logical. Like maybe, and I don't even want to say this out loud, but maybe you could change a mayoral race. Maybe, because there's some controversy going on down there where the other Democrat, that Rahman woman, has disappeared. And Spencer Pratt is claiming that she was just a dupe and that she was part of the Bass campaign and that they wanted Bass in the first place. And you know what? I told my friends in Los Angeles, y'all deserve Karen Bass. You had an opportunity to go with Spencer Pratt and you belittled this guy and he had a message and he was going to come in with change. And now they're complaining about Karen Bass, which she's going to win going away. But basically what the president is going to say in an hour is that there were foreign entities that tried to influence this election. And that, as I mentioned again with Mr. Petrie, that ain't news, y'all. That's just not news. Did they use TikTok to try to influence? And the other factor is, the reality is China and Russia wanted Trump to win. They wanted Trump in office. And some of the intervention was in Trump's favor. And if they had solid evidence, you know, they sent the former DNI leader, Tulsi Gabbard, down to collect the ballot rolls down in Atlanta, Fulton County. Massive fraud, y'all. Massive fraud. Now, what you should be saying, and some of you may be screaming at your radio, hey, Bailey, I thought you told us that the 1960 election was stolen. And now you're saying it's impossible. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The 1960 election was stolen. Richard Nixon was cheated. And he knew it. His staff knew it. They told him to challenge it. And he said, I will not put the presidency up in the air like in 2000 with Gore, Bush. I'm not going to do that. Where we don't know who the president is for 2, 3, maybe 6 months. But this was one state. This was one state. This wasn't 3 states. This wasn't massive fraud. And this has been irrefuted. Absolutely irrefutable evidence that a man by the name of Richard Daley, and I don't have time to give you a history lesson if you were smoking weed in 10th grade, but look him up. And by the way, we all know Chicago, to this day, has been as corrupt as a hangar since Al Capone. We're talking about the 1920s when Al Capone ran Chicago. Well, guess what? The mob stayed, and there's a man by the name of Sam Giancana. If you know anything about the mafia, you know about Sam Giancana for several reasons. A, he got whacked right before he was going to testify. B, he used to date, if you're an old person like me, Phyllis McGuire, one of the McGuire sisters. And C, he also was dating a woman by the name of Judith Exner. Now, why do I bring up some random name like Judith Exner? How is that pertinent in any way? Because another guy was sleeping with Judith Exner, and his name was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. That's how reckless John Kennedy was. He was sharing a woman with a mob boss. I'm telling you, I've said this a couple of times, and it may be controversial, and I don't mean like I want them dead, but the death of Dr. King and the death of Jack Kennedy might have saved their legacy. Let me make my point before you think I'm nutsy cuckoo. The reality is, in 1968, the civil rights movement was falling apart. Stokely Carmichael, who was one of the leading young people, because young people lead revolutions, had had enough. And this was right when Malcolm X was becoming prominent, who said an eye for an eye and don't take no mess, basically, and did not believe in civil disobedience and nonviolence. And so the movement was splintering, and King was expanding his, whatever you want to call it, his influence over the Vietnam War, which I think Ralph Abernathy and the boys should have tackled him, because now that put him at odds with Lyndon Johnson, and that further eroded the movement. And I think Dr. King, had he lived into the 70s, would have been, his legacy would have died to some degree, because the movement moved along on its own. He created it, and the movement of affirmative action came in the 70s, and I just think he would have been considered, I don't know. And obviously, whenever you're a martyr, your stock rises. And with Kennedy, had he lived to be as old as his old man, we would have found out all these things about him, that he was a womanizer. We kind of knew that. We would have found out about his Addison disease and how bad a health that he was in. He was in horrible health his whole life. I mean, there's just a lot of things that we would have found out about John Kennedy that we now know that we would have known had he been alive, and it would have ruined his legacy. The only reason I hate saying that is because I firmly believe we would not have 58,000 dead soldiers from Vietnam had John Kennedy lived. I don't think there's any question he would not have put massive troops in Vietnam. But this is going to be fascinating. I'm willing to sit down and listen. And the difference, again, between 1960 and 2020 is Richard Daley was a corrupt mayor, and his son was just as equally corrupt, who was a mayor in the 70s and the 80s. And Giancana was running the mob, so he got the unions to come out, and they absolutely threw the state of Illinois. And that's all that was one of the closest elections in American history, and that's all they needed. They didn't need 3 states, but to swing 3 different states, one which was counted by hand, that's a pretty tough call. And I'm, hey, I'm willing to say mea culpa. I have been dead wrong, and I will never question the president again if he provides solid evidence that massive voter fraud occurred and changed the 2020 election while he was president, over his watch. But I just don't see it. I think it's going to be, I think the 2020 portion is going to be shorter than it would have been a couple of days ago. I think Susie Wiles and maybe even Carolyn Levitt, now that she's back, have told him, you do know we're months away from a midterm, right? You do know that we're involved in a conflict with another nation, right? You do know that Americans are struggling financially. And for this to be the priority, he didn't give a national speech on Iran, but he's giving a national speech on the 2020 election. As Sadie Green Bailey used to say, that just don't make no sense. That just don't make no sense. But we'll see what is. I'm very much interested in seeing what he's got because they're claiming it is new evidence. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we come back. I got a lot of things to talk about. We can talk about the ESPYs a little bit. Do you notice how they blacked it up? That's coming from a brother. With the rap groups and the old groups, and I just don't think that. And it's just a bad production. They brought Justin Verlander out to make a speech. If I'm the producer, he's got to come with his wife. She's sitting right there. Why would you not have her come on the stage with him? Do you know who Justin Verlander's wife is? Kate. Oh, you don't know? No. I thought you knew for sure.
No.
He's married to Kate Upton.
Oh, that's right.
Haven't you ever seen the video when they? Yeah. Have you ever seen the video when they met? She's in the front row. He's not pitching, so he's on the edge of the dugout, and they're looking, they're smiling at one another. I told the story the other day. They're grinning at one another. So finally, he gets a ball, writes his number on it, turns around and rolls it to her, and she just thinks she's got a souvenir. And she goes, and the camera's right on her when he's doing this. And she catches the ball, and she's like, oh, thank you. Oh, and she's got like this coy look, and she's like smiling, and they've been married since 2017. And she is still gorgeous. If you're doing a television show and you have Justin Verlander up there, why would you not have Kate Upton and do a little back and forth with them? It's a television show, for God's sake. And then Steph Curry gets an award for feeding people in Oakland with his wife, and only Steph goes up. He's got a gorgeous wife. It's a television show. Why isn't she up there? But the couple of the night that I love so much, I don't know why, Myles Garrett and Chloe, whatever Chloe's last name is. Chloe Garrett, pretty soon. We're going to marry her. The pipe girl, the skateboard, what do you do in that tunnel with the
half pipe?
Half pipe. There you go. The high pipe girl. That's her. Chloe. What's Chloe's name, y'all?
I thought you were talking about a Kardashian. I was
no.
Chloe.
No, the Asian girl.
Lamar.
No. They only date basketball players. They don't mess with football players. Basketball players and rappers. The only black men they go out with. Kidding me? But yeah, Chloe. What's Chloe's last name? Half pipe girl. Chloe Garrett.
Kim.
Chloe Kim. Cute girl. Love her. Absolutely love her. And Myles Garrett was there, new Los Angeles Rams. And the word is, by the end of the week, Myles Garrett is going to have a new teammate. Y'all know who I'm talking about if you know anything about football. They're saying that Aaron Donald is coming back. That will be a force to reckon with, let me tell you. Quick timeout. We'll check the board when we come back. And I've got some other miscellaneous news and notes to get to. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on a Thursday right here on News Talk 96.1 AM 1230. And we're streaming live at KernRadio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Maxwell in the morning. Good till the last mic drop.
Judge blocks the Virginia law barring ICE agents from wearing a mask. Can you believe that? Can you believe they have to have a law prohibiting masks? That's the insanity going on. A judge ruled that it's likely unconstitutional. All they had to do was get a message from the DOJ. Excuse me, but that's unconstitutional. Go away. Swat them like a fly.
Weekdays 9 to noon, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
The Kern Radio studios are powered by Adaptive Networks. Call them today at 661-241-0638. We had Jennifer and Ryan Van Alstyne in here live in studio yesterday. If they've returned from their whirlwind tour in New York City, where they were dealing with some of the largest IT companies in the world. In fact, they were requested to come out and deal with one of the larger companies in New York City. That illustrates the competence of Ryan Van Alstyne and the folks at Adaptive Networks. And I'm telling you, if you're a serious business person and you're serious about your IT, you need to call the Van Alstynes at 661-241-0638. Just talk with them. We just concluded a 4-week tutorial about things that you should know, red flags that you should be aware of, and their competence, their customer service, their reliability is comparable to none. Call them today, 661-241-0638, or hit them online at adaptive-net.com.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
The Bear Mountain Sports Summer Savings Sale is on now. Boy, is that a mouthful. Come check out the deals at our new location at 624 Morning Drive at the corner of Pioneer and Morning Drive. Whether you're looking for plinking, hunting, home, or personal defense, the Bear has it all. Bear Mountain Sports has all your favorite brands: Benelli, Beretta, SIG, HK, Kimber, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Remington, and much more. The Bear is also your Byrna Less Than Lethal headquarters. Shop all Byrna products, including limited edition colors. Bear Mountain Sports is open Monday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 8 to 5, and Sunday 9 to 2. Have a quick question? Give us a call at 366-AMMO. 366-AMMO. Still locally owned and operated, and dedicated to serving the Kern County community. Come visit Bear Mountain Sports in our new location at 624 Morning Drive at the corner of Pioneer and Morning Drive. Bear Mountain Sports, where the tradition continues.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Well, the bigger the city, well, the brighter the lights. Bigger the dark, well, the hotter the night. I don't know where you been last night, but I know, mama, you ain't doing right. Say, I know a little about it. I know a little about it. I know a little about love. Baby, I can guess the rest.
842-537-6842 KERN. What do we got on the board? What are they talking about?
It's a vacation amuse-bouche.
Say what? Say what?
I have no idea. English.
Vacation amuse-bouche?
Amuse-bouche.
I think they're alluding to your 2-day vacation leading up to your 5-day vacation.
Yes.
And that's called a what? How do you spell that?
AMUSE.
Amuse.
BOUCHE.
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 Amuse. Bouche.
Bouche.
Boucher. I don't know. That's over my head.
Is that French?
It sounds it. Boucher certainly sounds.
Oui.
Oh, to be in Paris in summertime. I don't think so. It's a little hot in Europe right now. What else you got?
I heard the girls got hairy armpits too.
They do. They have afros in their arms. It'll freak you out. Wouldn't that have been a great story if I had actually had sex with that woman? On the banks of the Ardèche River, I lose my virginity to a French woman. Just a real quick, because I'm not telling again. I was in Europe on a trip with my classmates and met this French girl and took her down to the banks of the Ardèche River where we'd been kayaking on our way to Lyon, France. And I had wine, and it was a full moon. I'll never forget. It was a beautiful night. It was perfect weather. And she laid back and put her arms behind her back and to evince afros, not hair. Like I can handle a little hair. She had an afro on her, and I was 17 years old. Freaked me out. I ran like a chicken. But it was such a great story if I could have lost my virginity. Tell my kids, well, not my kids. I lost my virginity to a lovely French woman in Paris on my way to Lyon. Whatever. What else you got?
Chief Steve Brumet.
Oh, Brummer. Steve Brummer. Forgot about him.
Is still alive and collecting.
Yes, he is. So that's 5 now. So that's $1 million we're doling out right there among those 5. Steve Brummer. I forgot about Steve Brummer. That's 5. That's just great. That's just great. Well, thank you for the information. What else you got?
Downy dryer sheets under your pillow in bed. No more mosquitoes.
Really? Downy dryer sheets?
Under your pillow in the bed. That's what.
Because I use Snuggles. What?
I don't know if it has to be brand specific.
There's a brand. Don't you put something in the dryer?
Of course. Yeah.
What do you use?
The cheapest one I can find.
I go brand name. Is it Snuggles or Smuggles?
Great value. Yeah, Snuggles.
Snuggles. Yeah, I go with the little teddy bear. That's all I look for. I go with the Snuggles. And so I put that under my pillow, huh? Okay, I could do that. They're killing me. And you know what's so frustrating about the mosquitoes is that you can see them for like a millisecond. You know what I'm saying? And then it looks like they just like disappear. The one thing though, and again, thank you to our traffic staff, lovely Lisa, this is the first summer in 3 years I'm gnat free. And I just bought a bunch of avocados and a stack of bananas, and I am gnat free. I bought the Zevo thing that it's a blue light that you plug in, and then it has a cartridge that you stick in, and it's a sticky cartridge. And I put one in the kitchen and one in the bathroom, and the one in the kitchen was just like, holy Toledo. Because if you got 5 gnats, you got 100. You know what I'm saying? It's like roaches. And this thing was just littered with things. And then I cleaned out I defrosted my fridge and I sprayed a little bit, and I am gnat free. But the mosquitoes now are the big deal. And I think I let them in. Because when it was about 2 weeks ago, when it was in the 80s, again, my windows open horizontally. Excuse me. They open outward, and they screw and they open up. So they're long and rectangular, our windows. Because my building's like 80 years old. And so we have no screens. And it was like 85 degrees, and it was just kind of stuffy in the apartment. And I just wanted to open the windows, just get some fresh air in. And underneath my bedroom window is a faucet, water, which attracts the mosquitoes. And I think they just kind of like, hey, there's a party at Ralph's house. Because I mean, I have just been chewed up to death. That's great advice. Thank you. One more. Let's get to the back half of the hour.
This was about 20 minutes ago, but somebody said eastbound 58 is a mess from 99 east to at least Mount Vernon.
Wow. What's going on out there? Traffic accident, I'm sure. 58?
That's what they said. 58 east from the 99 to Mount Vernon.
Wow.
I looked on the page, and all I see is a traffic. Well, let me see. Where'd it go? Yeah. Eastbound 58, just east of South Chester is what I had. So I don't know.
Well, that's a long way from Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it's not the whole way. Well, traffic is flowing on the 99, which is rare on a Thursday. Even the slow lane, the trucks are moving kind of quickly. That's good to see. But you guys own a Tesla? Anybody out there own a Tesla? I found out something amazing to me. Should I name names? One of our colleagues, well, actually 2 of our colleagues have Teslas. And one of them.
3 of them, actually. But, yeah.
Do we? Who else?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Katie, Tina.
And who else? Okay. Katie and Tina. Who's the third?
Morning guy. Scott.
Oh, does he really?
Scott
has a Tesla?
His wife does that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, Katie drives it. Katie lets it drive her. I would be afraid to death. She lets it drive itself on the freeway. Katie, you crazy girl. You better put your hand 10 and 2. Quick timeout. Last half hour of the broadcast. Don't go anywhere.
In Washington, severe storms have dumped over 20 inches of rain in parts of Texas, causing significant flooding. The Guadalupe River rose rapidly early Thursday, affecting areas still recovering from last year's deadly flash floods. Experts say slow-moving storms fueled by lots of moisture created days of downpours. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says drones and helicopters are being used for rescue.
Oh, it was
SpaceX's next Starship flight is off indefinitely after a last-second abort on the pad. The mega rocket was preparing to blast off on a test flight Thursday from Texas when some of its engines failed to ignite. Without all 33 engines firing, the automatic launch system halted everything. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 105 points. The Nasdaq dropped 387. More at srnnews.com.
Yeah.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns?
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
A woman named Wendy Kyle was stabbed to death back on May 29, 2001, after she left the Mint Bar in Oildale and her body was set on fire inside her house. And police do not know who did it, even after all these years. But the Kern County Sheriff's Office is pushing again for tips, hoping to rectify that situation and bring the killer in. They have not discussed any possible motive. A robotic dog on the police force. That'll soon be part of the Bakersfield Police complement, with money meant to be used to fight fentanyl, used partly for the purchase, since the dog is equipped with sensors that can detect fentanyl, and that is one of its uses. The mechanical mutt will be used for helping in hostage situations and in situations where it might be dangerous to send people in. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Hey, this is Terry Maxwell. You know, one thing I've never enjoyed is painting. It takes time, patience, and real skill to do it right. That's why when it comes to painting my home or business, I trust the professionals at Howling Painting. Howling Painting is family-owned and operated right here in Kern County and has proudly served our community since 1978. They were even voted Best of Bakersfield, Best Painting Company in 2025 and 2026. Whether it's residential or commercial, interior or exterior, Howling Painting delivers top-quality work at competitive prices. Their team is dedicated to exceptional service and results that exceed expectations. And they don't consider the job finished until you're completely satisfied. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, so you can feel confident your property is in good hands from the start to the finish. Get a free, no-obligation consultation today at Howling Painting. That's HALLING.com or call 872-0988. Howling Painting, quality works you can trust.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, we will talk about my unblemished record in picking World Cup matches despite not knowing or caring anything about human foosball. We got a really bad squatter situation. Bakersfield's talking about becoming a sanctuary city. We'll talk about all of it to the best of our ability. 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1, AM 1230, KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
but I'm busted. You know, I'm flush these days, Mr. Flores, and I'm getting set to buy my ticket to Philadelphia. In fact, I meant to talk about that with Nick Ragone. So I got a crazy hair up my butt, and I said, you know what?
You're gonna fly first class, aren't you? Do I know Mr. Bailey?
You know
or
me
do
so
I know
well.
Mr. Bailey?
However, how much do you think a round trip ticket first class to Philadelphia is?
Ooh,
I bet you don't come within $500.
I was gonna say nine bills.
$2,500.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
No.
And I've got a flight. I got to stop in Denver, but my what do you call him? My Expedia guy, my travel agent, Rand Dizzle down the hallway, got me a $400 flight round trip, stopping in Denver, coming and going. I'm gonna scoop that up. When do we get paid again? Monday? I'm scooping that up on Monday. I sure am. I'm not gonna blow my weekend on it, but we get paid on Monday, and I'm gonna buy my ticket because that's what I needed to talk about. I need to get some specific dates from Mr. Ragone. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Now it's like first class when I was growing up was like a different experience. Now it's like a different class. You know what I mean? Like, remember I told you guys the story about how my first college girlfriend, I had to my parents booked my flight for the week of finals before I knew my final schedule. So they booked me for a Saturday, and I was done like on Tuesday or Wednesday, as were all of my friends. And I was in Atlanta by myself Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was broke because it was at the end of the semester. And what was I going to do? Ask my parents for money when I'm going to see them in 72 hours? So I literally ate baked potatoes and celery with peanut butter for like 2 or 3 days. And my girlfriend felt so bad for me that, unbeknownst to me, as I'm getting to the airport, she upgraded my flight. And I asked her later, and it was like $100 difference. I was like, you should have done that. That was expensive. How much did you cost? She said, it just cost me like $100. Now, $400 for my coach flight, $2,500 to go first class. And I really was going to do it too. You do know me well. I really was going to do it. I was just going to do it on the way back. You know, I don't need to fly first class there, but to fly back, because east to west is longer. It's a longer flight, and it'll be a long week. And I just pray I don't make a jerk of myself. I don't even want to play well. I just don't want to make a jerk out of myself. And I think I've got my game, because that's what this is all about, by the way. This whole obsession with getting my golf game right and trying to get back into the 80s has been about going to Philadelphia in Nick Ragone's tournament with pros and playing the Pro-Am and not making the jerk that I made of myself in St. Louis. Because I literally made a jerk of myself. I looked like I had never played golf before. I hit maybe 5 good shots that entire day. And this is what was so great about the trip. I still had a ball. And I could have played the next day. I've probably told you this as well. So I played Tuesday, made a jerk of myself. And then Wednesday, I was supposed to play, got there at the course, was ready to go. And the girl said, well, I'm not on your list. You're not on the list. And she said, who are you? And all I had to do was mention his name. I said, well, I'm a friend of Nick Ragone's. I played it. Oh, you're a friend of Mr. Ragone's. She literally wouldn't let me finish the sentence. She said, oh, you're a friend of Mr. Ragone's? Oh, then I can get you on a team. And I said, well, and I was like thinking, do I really want to play after a jerk? I mean, she said, this is what you do. Go into the lunchroom, have lunch, have a cocktail. We don't tee off for another hour and a half. If you'd like to play, I'll get you on a team. And if you don't, you don't. I went in and had the croissant turkey sandwich with avocado, couple of vodka cranberries, and I was like, play golf? I'm going back to the hotel. Went back to the hotel, went swimming in my indoor pool. I had another cocktail while I was waiting for young Kelly to come pick me up, and we went to the St. Louis Cardinal game in in Nick Ragone's suite with Ozzie Smith, which, it's a good thing I don't know what I know now about Ozzie Smith, because, I'm all into these reels. I've been suckered in, and I see, and you get a pattern of stuff, and a lot of it is baseball stuff. Ozzie Smith was kind of a dirty player. There are 3 different fights that he got into where he took like cheap shots at guys. There's the one where Candy Maldonado makes a hard slide and the second baseman has a problem with him. And then Ozzie, and I guess you have to do this as a teammate, but the guy is fighting the second baseman, and Ozzie comes from behind him and tries to take a shot at him and misses. Because if I had known that night, you know me, hey, Oz, what about that time you took that cheap shot at Candy Maldonado? You swung at the guy with his back to you, dude. That's like a Western gunslinger shooting somebody in the back. And there are 2 other incidents that I've found. One was with the Dodgers, and it's all about them sliding into them and taking exception. I did bring up, however, the Niedenfuhrer home run, where Ozzie, who never hit home runs, hit a 2-run home run to beat us, and I have never forgotten it. But he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy. He really was a nice guy. And my favorite part of the night was the little black woman who when I was leaving, because we stayed, till the damn very, very end, the little black woman said, "Thank you, baby. You were the only one to tip me, not even that cheapskate Ozzie Smith." That's okay. Thank you. 842-5376, 842-KRN. We're getting ready for the president's speech tonight. It's going to be fascinating. We'll see what happens. And, of course, our top story of the day is an LA firm is suing Kern County and DHS, and this is over the death of Genesis Mata. It's her family that is being represented by this LA firm. And even Mr. Turnipseed has conceded that they're going to win. LA firms don't get involved in things like this unless they've got some pretty hard evidence of what they call systematic negligence and failure. Even in the preliminary lawsuit that KGT was reporting, Connor Dorr is the one that broke the story originally and followed up with the lawsuit today. And that's where we get our information from. That I don't even know if I should talk about it, to be honest with you. I guess I will. It's hard to listen to, so if you've got children in your car, you might not want to hear some of the description in the lawsuit about what occurred and what they did to Genesis Mata. According to the lawsuit, they had Genesis microwave the water and then tortured her with scalding hot water in the La Quinta Hotel. And apparently the death blow was, and there's a line in the movie, The Bridges of Toko-Ri, where, and if you haven't seen it, I'm about to ruin it for you. But at the very end, William Holden dies. He's a lawyer from Denver who was a part of World War II, and he was reluctant to go because now he's got to go to the Second War, Korea. And I'm just a lawyer from Denver. He's married to Grace Kelly in the film, and he dies at the end. And he was Frederick March, who's the admiral on the ship. That was his boy. And at the very end of the movie, he says he's sitting there by himself, and he's contemplating the death of this young man with his beautiful wife and his children. And he questions himself, where do we find these men? Where do we find these men that are willing to fight 2 wars? They had to go to Germany and now back in Korea. Where do we find these men? Well, I have the same question. Where do we find these human beings? The death blow was Ray Mata punching her in the stomach so hard that it knocked her unconscious. So like Frederick March in The Bridges of Toko-Ri, where do we find these people? How can you have that amount of cruelty to your own child? Like maybe the stepmother, this Gabriela Bustamante, who's going down with Mata when the trial gets going. Maybe, but it's just humanity. But your flesh and blood, the daughter that you created, that is so far out of my realm of understanding that I don't even know what to say. And the idea that DHS investigated this man, we're told 20 different times by mandated reporters and school officials at the school that Genesis was going to, because she was missing school because they were torturing her and bruising her So on days where she had a black eye, she couldn't go to school. So that's the first bell and whistle that goes off at the school. And then even when she was coming, they reported that she was showing up with bruises. And DHS was aware of this. This is why I knew I wasn't speculating. It was common logic that there had to be. If they didn't react or reacted poorly, negligently, slowly to being told 20 times that a child is being abused, there had to be others. There had to be children that they were told maybe 3 times, maybe 5 times, maybe twice, because you would think twice would be enough. Maybe once they fall on deaf ears, but you'd think a follow-up, hey, I called on Monday about Ralph Bailey. He's being tortured. It's the second time I'm calling. So there had to be more if they ignored a situation where they were warned 20 different times. Lito Murillo's got to go. He's the head of DHS. He's got to go. And I don't think the Board of Supervisors have any wiggle room on this. Again, as I stated at the top of the show, we talked about yesterday, they have granted an additional $200,000 to a group SPI out of San Diego State to try to help us. And we'll find out their recommendations 2 weeks from now, which, again, falls out of the realm of my understanding, how you give money and then they tell you what they've done. That's like me handing over money to a plumber and then him telling me I'll come fix your sink on Wednesday or next Wednesday. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it is what a TI is, and at least the chickens will come home to roost because we're going to find out what's going on. This lawsuit is going to expose DHS for all of their systematic negligence. They mentioned other children that were involved. As I stated earlier, they talked about Alejandro Andres Perez Jr., a 3-year-old who was beaten to death. They talked about the California City kids, those 2 children who remain missing. And thankfully, Judge Bremer threw the book at their non-biological parents, right? Non-biological. They adopted those 2 boys. Their real names, Classic and Sincere Petus. But they're part of this thing. They're part of the negligence of DHS. And it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. And Murillo has to go. And, you know, I wish no ill will on the man. I just don't want him, you know, put him in a different department. Give him something else to do. And I'm interested to find out what he's making, because I bet it's in the range of about $200,000, if not $250,000. And that is crazy. That is crazy. You're not earning your money. And we're handing out money hand and fist to other companies to help us out. He's got to go. He's got to go. And if I can do anything to expedite his departure, I certainly will try and intend to do so. Final break of the night. Scott Jennings coming up at the top of the hour.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not. I beg your pardon. I lied. President Donald Trump will address you. We're carrying that live. He's going to break the 2020 election wide open.
How long do you think he's going to go for?
Oh, God.
Over under.
Well, you set the over under. I'll tell you if I take the over under.
And how many times does he go off script?
Oh, he's going to go off script big time.
A whole lot.
Big time.
A whole lot.
Especially when he starts with the election stuff.
Yeah.
He's going to talk about Raffensperger. He's going to talk about the ladies that Giuliani disparaged and how it's a systematic thing in Fulton County and
the Russian dossier.
And oh yeah.
Clinton.
Oh yeah. I think he's got to go at least an hour. He's got to go at least an hour. Do you have to stay for this? Do you really?
I at least got to come back when it's over to switch it, get off of it.
Well, good. You can go take a nap.
Get some dinner.
Yeah.
KC Steakhouse.
Couple cocktails, some steak bites. Oh, it looks like I can do one more.
One more.
It's been about 45 minutes. I can do one more. Final time out of the night. Tomorrow's a Friday. Rick Bentley will be here. And in the meantime, you're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1, AM 1230. We stream live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. First Look with Scott Cox. Morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, we will talk about my unblemished record in picking World Cup matches despite not knowing or caring anything about human foosball. We got a really bad squatter situation. Bakersfield's talking about becoming a sanctuary city. We'll talk about all of it to the best of our ability. 6 to 9 a.m.
Yeah.
News Talk 96.1, AM 1230, KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Let's be honest, money can feel overwhelming. Markets change, life changes, and most people are left wondering, am I actually on track? That's where Money Wise comes in.
That's like your tell gazes. You gotta usually let it in. Cause I can't see shit. Yeah. Yeah.
We help people simplify the complex, make smart financial decisions, and move forward with confidence without the jargon, without the pressure. Retirement planning, big life transitions, or just getting organized and knowing where you stand. And now you can find us in a new home, the historic Woolworths building, right in downtown Bakersfield. MoneyWise, clear advice, local roots. Learn more at moneywiseguys.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial. LPL Financial and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of you my absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar feedback from my doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation through the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary health challenges, his longstanding and most experienced and expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not possibly do any better than to reach out to Paul Sheldon several months before turning 65. Thank you.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Look, folks, when it comes to IT support, not all companies are the same. Many make big promises, but very few have the depth of talent, advanced systems, and proven solutions that Grapevine MSP brings to the table. At Grapevine MSP, they don't just fix problems, they prevent them. Their fully managed IT services keep your systems running smoothly and securely 24/7. So when something happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to be stuck trying to reach your provider. Grapevine MSP's local team is already on it with advanced network monitoring. They generally catch the issue before you even notice, and they're calling you to say that it's already been handled. Their dedicated cybersecurity team protects you daily from evolving threats, while their industry-leading backup and disaster recovery keep your business online even in a crisis. All this for one simple, transparent monthly rate. Call 661-377-2992 or visit grapevinemsp.com to schedule your free network evaluation today. Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider. Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Keep on turning. Don't be too long. Oh no. My freshman year at Morehouse, the guys on my floor would call me Stevie because I would go down and steal Flores's, Mark, and oh Lord, what was his brother's name? Mark and Oh my God, is my memory that bad? I was briefed. I'm reading something from Bernie Marino. I was just briefed by the White. Oh, it changed.
On what to expect this evening.
Some of the facts that will be revealed in President Trump's speech tonight are truly shocking. If the networks were truly serving the public interest, they would air it. And as a country, we would collectively resolve to take action. That is from Eric Schmidt. I have no idea who he is. I'm assuming he's a congressman. Well,
The first one said something about this being the most important speech to the nation since the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh my God. Now that is the most.
And something about holding China.
Well, yeah, he's going to say that China.
Yeah.
We know that. We know that China tried to influence the election. We know that Russia tried to influence the election. We know that. But did they change the balloting? This is about dominion. And this is going to be, you know how I knew this is farcical? Fox did not cover the speech today. I stayed home till about 2:20 to watch The Five, which comes on at 5 o'clock Eastern time, hence the name, and they didn't cover it. Meantime, CNN, because I watch it on the news mix, CNN and MSN Now are all over it. Because what is the logic behind that? Fox realizes the last time we got involved with the 2020 election, we had to sign a check for $800 million. I'm sure the word has come down from Fox that we're gonna stay away from this one. we're gonna back up off this one and let everybody else cover it. So what? The networks are not covering it? Is that what they're implying?
I got a text message from somebody that said ABC and NBC is not airing the speech tonight.
Wow, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Adam Schiff has chimed in. As you watch the president's address tonight, keep this in mind. Trump was the guy badgering the Republican Secretary of State to, quote, find 11,760 votes in the 2020 election that did not exist, but would have been just enough to defeat Biden in that state. He was lying then. He'll be lying now. Both continue to contest the last election he lost and to set the stage to contest the midterm elections to come. That's what I think this is about. I think this is about the SAVE Act, which he desperately wants passed, and there just aren't numbers in the Senate. And I think this is about the midterms and perhaps even 2028. Because if you think that Donald Trump is going to go quietly into that deep night, I misquoted whoever that was. Don't even ask me who that was, but I misquoted it anyway. So what difference does it make? But if you think he's going to go quietly into the night, you done lost your mind, as my grandmother used to say. This is going to be a contentious election for the midterms. And if what I believe is going to happen happens, what is the first thing that's going to come out of Donald Trump's mouth? If the Republicans get slaughtered in the midterms, he's going to say it was rigged. He's going to say it was rigged. And as I pointed out at the top of the show, remind yourself that the two times that President Trump won, there was a Democrat in the White House handling federal government. The one time he claims that there was fraud, he was the executive-in-chief, the commander-in-chief, the chief executive, et cetera, et cetera. So that's something to chew on. I'm just saying. I got to get out of here. I'm interested in watching this thing. I want to thank my good friend Nick Ragone, who'll be back with us tomorrow. And, of course, Mr. Turnipseed and Mr. Petrie, Mike Turnipseed and Daniel Petrie. Tomorrow, Rick Bentley. And we'll talk more about the Open Championship. Let's hope Rory and my guy from L.A., Colin Morikawa, make a move. But we'll talk with Mr. Ragone as well. And then head into a very hot weekend. So if you're playing golf like I am, get an early tee time, fellas, because it is scalding out there. In the meantime, we'll talk about the president's speech. But for J.R. Flores, I'm Ralph Bailey. And that's what's really going on. I will wrap to you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Current Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump is addressing the nation on what he calls election integrity and is expected to mention the 2020 election this evening. But not everyone will be able to watch Mr. Trump's address to the nation on network television tonight. Willie Nelson has the latest.
ABC and NBC are not expected to carry President Trump's address to the nation on their main broadcast networks Thursday night. The White House says the president will discuss election integrity and newly declassified intelligence related to past election procedures. Critics argue Americans should be able to hear directly from their president on an issue of national importance. Willie Nelson, Washington.
Protests against Ukraine's decision to change its defense minister raged throughout the capital city.
Dozens of protesters gathered in central Kyiv on Thursday to denounce President Volodymyr Zelensky's decision to dismiss Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov after just 6 months in the post. Zelensky announced earlier this week he would be changing key posts in the government, including Prime Minister. One local resident, Bohdan Huryak, told the AP he was outraged by Fedorov's firing, as he believed the outgoing defense minister showed clear results on the battlefield. Fedorov is known for modernizing Ukraine's military. He confirmed his dismissal on social media. I'm Karen Shamas.
Authorities in Texas have rescued hundreds of stranded drivers and people trapped in homes, and at least 2 people have died due to catastrophic flooding. The region is still recovering from devastating floods just a year ago. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down by 105 points. The Nasdaq dropped 387. The S&P 500 lower by 38. Oil near $79 a barrel. More at townhall.com.